with ILEG right now, doing some work. That is abbreviations for something new we're working on. Right now I'm in the process of transferring our information from one site to the other. So right now I'm on Facebook getting pictures that are needed to put into the Gunmetal. Now Gunmetal was available on our Crystal Edge site. Our Crystal Edge site, if you go to it, shows that the site is disconnected from the server. It's disconnected from the server because we are working on the site. And that's what we're doing right now. Well, actually, I'm on the other site right now, but we're over there working and getting some things ready. As I told you before, that we are removing the marketplace off the site. There is a new domain name we're working on for that particular site, so we can change the name so we can have everything in sync. It's just a bit of a headache to talk about two different sites, update two different sites that are completely different, and we can't do that. That's just a bit of a headache. I had to go into my Facebook page and I had to remove some pages that we weren't even using anymore. That had to go. We just had them for too long. And they just didn't serve any purpose anymore. And every time I go on Facebook, I had to go and update all these pages. I'm like, this is just way too much work. So we removed some of the pages. So I, so to speak, trimming the fat to make it more lean and more mean. That's what we're doing. So giving it a whole new facelift. And the reason why these big changes are coming into play, because our situation changed dramatically. We are now in the office. We're now doing, and going to be pretty soon doing field work. We're going to be out there advertising the technology into companies. People that will be walking into this environment right here will be of companies that will come in and acquire the technology to better their situation with the white projection screens. That, again, I've done a lot of research last year walking around in these environments, and it's awful. I mean, downright awful, that they're really not getting what they paid for their projectors. And I did a little experiment. I walked over, looked at the machines, talked to a few people in there, and didn't let them know who I was, and they're just doing some experimenting, and it is all full. So the new technology we have, which under the ILEG, basically has the ability to consume more light than any of the screens we've ever developed. It basically, if you saw the demonstrations with the box, it literally can eat through a row of 66,000 K in LED light, and that is super ultra bright. You can look it up. That's about as bright as you're going to get. I've seen 10,000, but the 10,000s are designed differently. It's not the strips or something. I was trying to find something higher. But right now it'd be 6,000 K. That is super, super bright, and it can eat through that with no problem. We've done this at ultra short throw. It ate through with no problem. Of course it should have, because the ultra short throw is sitting on top of the screen. But keep in mind, as you're doing this, you have to maintain an infinity 1 contrast level, which means you may have to pick up a ultra black level at all times. The gunmetal technology, which we showed you, we engineered, has the ability to do contrast shifting. It can shift to darker levels, as we showed you. Display, okay, the contrast shifting technology, is this true? Yes, we showed multiple demonstrations of a surface that was nowhere near black and was able to shift to heavy black levels. So with that capability, it allows us to make screens that we just choose to make lighter, to have the ability to shift and mimic a black level extremely well. So that is nice to have under your belt when you start working on lighter screens, to be able to do that. So right now, we've already selected a few paints and screens we're adding to the site. And as I said before, that name you see right there, that's going to change in a couple of days. The YouTube name is going to be also changing. Everything is going to be in sync. Once we get all the final paperwork back, that ILEG will explain what it means. But right now, it's shrouded in mystery until we basically get everything all sorted out and everything ready to go. You know, if you're going to expect for your planes to land safely, you're going to have a very nice airstrip to do so. So that's what we're doing. We're building the airstrip, making sure it's state of the art. So whatever we got to fly in is going to land nicely without any complications and no problems. Any form of information going back to the tower is crystal clear, so there's no complications. Everything flies in neatly. That's what you do when you're basically building and redesigning a structure of your business. So that's why I said at the end of the day, it's more than just going in and mixing paints together. You have to understand the business part of it all. If you don't understand the business part of it all, you're going to be looking like a clown. And again, your business is not going to be stable. It's like the equivalence of building a house on the sand made out of noble paper. You literally are asking for it. So these are the stages you have to go through. And again, it's very important that whatever you write on those specification sheets, every single label we have here that we can actually transfer to our site, it's been tested. Have you ever seen the black versus black list? It is huge. We literally have stuff on there on screens we haven't even launched yet. TV technology under ad tech has black versus black tests. We haven't even launched that thing. So you have to have those tests. It's very important. I refuse to be on site and have someone say, hey, what about black paint? Now, I'm not going down that road. And no one's going to embarrass me on that level. Let me see. That's why I do all this testing. I'm my worst critic at the end of the day. I really am. This is the Crystal Edge site. I'm going in and grabbing what we need from here for specifications. So on the Crystal Edge site, Marketplace will be removed. As I said before, I want to make it an information site for the other site. So it'd be like something like ILEG, technology screens, information, something like that. That's going to be the information. We have to go to the search engine optimizer, remove everything out of there. That's anything to do with selling, convert it all into an information page. Page is also going to have a section on it where companies can go in and they can basically post their businesses, because the page we have on the Crystal Edge has been there since 2015. I think it might have been farther back than that, but it's been there for no, it's been past 2015. It's way back there. So it gets a ton of traffic. Anybody we lay on this page at the end of the day is guaranteed to get foot traffic easily. So we're going to have a section there for advertising companies. I have a section I'm building on there for places that we navigate through eBay. We do a lot by all our projectors. The majority out of 100%, I think out of 100%, I can roughly say 98% of my projectors are bought off eBay. So I have to navigate through eBay to know what to buy, how to buy, what to get. And we do a lot of unboxings to show that a lot of projectors we get from eBay work perfectly fine. Now, any ones we get that don't work fine, then they go over to the blacklist. Because again, you know, the only way to end up on a blacklist, if we get a projector coming through and it's busted, say it's something that happened, like an inventory or whatever, it's not their fault. That's just something that happened. They pulled the projector. But keep in mind, honestly, if you're doing a projector, if you're selling projectors, all projectors have to be tested before they're sent out the door. Because if you have a projector that's been sitting on a pallet for a long time, there's a number of things that can go wrong while it's sitting on a pallet. So you should be testing those projectors. So if someone says, hey, look, you know, we're selling these projectors, they're all tested. We get one here and we plug it in, we know what to look for, and we see warning lights flashing and all that stuff. We know from the door that projector was never tested. If we can plug it in and see that, you would have saw it when you plugged it in. So that'll land you on a blacklist, because you should have plugged that projector in from the door. There's no excuse around it. No excuse around it. So that right there, having this section we have on there, allows customers to be able to navigate eBay without bumping into these particular merchants that are not doing the job they're supposed to be doing. Now, as for the merchants I do buy from, who do a fantastic job, packaging's on point, shipping's on point, product gets here, like the projector I got over here, the one I paid $50 for, that projector's packaging was flawless. It was gorgeous. Everything intact, got a few cool stuff with it. We'll do a review, put all your information at the bottom, give you like a rating on so many stars or whatever, and advise customers to buy it from you. And yeah, I sell people's projectors all the time on eBay, because when customers contact me asking me about what kind of projectors to buy, we advise them to go to eBay. See, This is why I say that other people can't do this. You know why? You buy expensive projectors. You buy expensive projectors because you figure if you buy a machine with the high-end parts and all this other stuff, bells and whistles, this is going to help your screen. It actually hurts your company in the end, and it causes the consumer a lot of money. So if you spend $3,000 for a projector and a customer comes in and says, hey, you know, I'd like to buy your product, and you ask, he has a projector that's lower than yours, he's not going to get the same picture quality. It's not going to happen because you're used to using much higher machines, darker environment. So this customer does the opposite. He has a much cheaper machine in a well-lit environment. How's that going to work out? It's not. So us, on the other hand, we use highly stressful lit environments and we use cheaper machines, which means if the customer is in a well-lit environment, he's going to operate. And if the customer is using a cheaper machine because they don't want to spend the money for an expensive machine, he's still going to operate. If he upgrades to a higher projector, it's just going to advance his capability to do a little bit more. But still, he can do it at a cheaper level and still save money. Where the other companies can't do that because they started off with higher machines and darker environments. That's where you shoot yourself in the foot. Kind of been telling people that for years, and they don't listen at all whatsoever. They want us to follow your guidelines. We don't follow your guidelines. That's why. Because it's nothing but problems in the end. But anyway. So, with that being said, watching them use that $50 projector, which you've seen in actually several different demonstrations, with the Christie LW400. It was actually in one of the demonstrations using the projector mapping applications, which was showing the projector tilted on its side, doing a portrait mode through a screen that was cut to be like a doorway. We're using it there. We used it on site, on a commercial site. The fish tank screen that went through a window, same projector. I actually advised people who were asking what projector to buy. I told them to buy that projector, a 720p projector, and they bought it. Look at the results of it with our technology. Right through a window, perfect fish tank. We use it in here, in the office, on the screen we have over here. Perfect. So it's a projector that's extremely cheap. You can use it in so many different ways. We can literally say, hey, we've had this projector. We've used it on commercial site. We used it for projector mapping applications. And we also used it here in the environment we have now. So we can vouch behind our machines because we use these machines in demonstrations where people can't advise you to use a projector if they haven't used it. Now, for people saying, well, what about high-end projectors? This is the part where we ignore you at this point, and this is why. If you can get one of those machines over here, a machine that doesn't have all the bells and whistles, it doesn't have all the special abilities as a high-performance projector would have, you can get that machine to run in an environment that most machines would be scared to step foot in, and let alone a screen. And you can get that to run with no problem. You can get anything to run. Anything will run. But if you're using a high-powered machine from the beginning, if you downgrade to a machine that's much lower, how do you know you're going to function? You don't. That's why they use the high machines, because it's like an insurance for them that it's going to work. If anything happens in the situation with contrast, color, whatever, that machine's going to fix it for them. You got that kind of thought process going through your head in business, you're in a lot of trouble. Because not everybody's going to want to spend the money for that type of projector. It's too expensive. You're going to be making a product where people are going to be forced to buy that projector. Then basically you're not saving them any money, they're costing them more money. So that's why I said that they did it backwards. Those machines will handicap your company. Let me see. This is what? 1 gallon. All right, I'm going to go to a notebook. We got the pictures and everything loaded up. I need a notebook and a notepad. And I need to put this information we have here, there. All right, that's perfect. All right, that's good to go. All right, that's all we need. Now see, this is the Crystal Ridge site we're on right now. Got access to the site. I'm inside. I'm working right now. Just disconnected from the domain because again, it makes it much easier as we're changing things out in here for us to navigate, change this. This site has to go through a deep root, which means we're not talking about moving a few things. We literally have to change a ton of stuff in here. Can't have it online for that. I have to change out my package plan, which means instead of me having an e-commerce, which is what this was, we don't need anymore because we're going to get rid of this right here. My marketplace, all my information here, my paints and stuff, all intact. It's just that we can't sell, but our stuff will be here for me to get access where I want, because this is my giant cookbook. This has around now 400, how many screen paints we've engineered in time. We have around, it tells you how many product lines, and we've designed 431 screen paints on this site. Every single one of these paints, and I've showed you in demonstrations where I can pull any one of these products, go to my YouTube account, put it in, and tests pop up all over the place. All this stuff is tested. That's why when I sit there and scratch my head, and I'm seriously baffled, how you can have 5 screen paints. None of them have any testing whatsoever, and we have 431 tested, completed. This is why when you go to websites, well, some of them are not there, but you go to the websites, where are the video demonstrations? A lot of pictures. I see a lot of pictures on sites. That's one of the things that when I was doing my research and I got into this business, and I was looking at other sites, like how do they build their websites, learning from them. And I'm like, where are the videos at? There's like no videos in here. Like, how am I really supposed to get an understanding of what I'm buying here if there's just pictures? Pictures is not enough. You know, and pictures are fun and all, but it's not enough. You need videos. You need to see this thing. Where are the paint down demonstrations? No one's painting these screens in. The only thing demonstrations I saw on a paint down was instructions on how to paint the screen, and then they would edit out the drying part and then go in and just show you the video. I was like, wait a minute, what the frick was that all about? And that's why we do ours different. That's why when you do see us do paint down demonstrations, you'll notice that we will paint the screen, we will dry it right in front of you, and you get a chance to watch the whole reaction right dead in front of you. What you're supposed to do. It's a longer video, but it's something you need to see, because you don't know what's happening in the drying processing time. Anything could go wrong in it. It could be lumpy, clumpy, it could be cracked. Anything could have popped up on that screen. It could come up looking like an English muffin, have a kind of a gritty look to it. When you see that kind of English muffin kind of look to it, and I told you, the fellow, we don't want his name in the video because, again, it taints our stuff, but he does bad business. When you see that English muffin gritty look, you know what that is? It's a lot of water in paint. That's what it means. That's what it does. Because if you do your own experiment and you put a lot of water in paint and you paint it down something, you'll notice you'll see these little bubbles that'll pop up. That's the bubbles. And then the constant rolling, that means the paint's not marrying well. Because you take one application to roll over something, whether the paint is a thinner paint or whatever, you just roll it one time and it should attach to the surface. But if the person's passing back over and over again, it's because the rollers on each end are causing streaks to push back and forth, and they're trying to erase the streaks. And that's the reason why they require you to do a light roll to remove that, because if you do anything heavy or put any pressure to it, it's going to cause those imperfections on both sides of the rollers to pop up. I know, I've been doing this for years, and I used to paint. Before I got into this, I used to paint. So I know this stuff. I told you, I worked at some jobs, and I've literally watched people put milk and or sometimes water into the paint to stretch it, so it can keep a little extra money from getting the gallon needed to finish the job. So I've seen all that stuff already. So that's what's happening when we're seeing multiple passovers. The surface is telling me that this stuff isn't taking so well, and that's why they're trying to cover it up. It shouldn't take that many passes over the screen. Unless you're picking up a lot of excess paint that you're trying to get off because you put too much down. Other than that, no, you shouldn't be going through all that. So when that gritty look to the side of the screen, that's why the video was removed. It was showing clear evidence that it was really not doing so well. Or that gritty look, that's when you have little bubbles that are forming. And when those bubbles dry, what happens is it leaves little pockets where this paint didn't marry to the surface, and you have little craters that pop up. That's what that's from. That's exactly what it's from. And that's why whatever else was in there, because if you put pigment and paint, any kind of powder or whatever it is. It's a powder pigment, you can see. You put that in paint. That would marry to water. Literally, it's like putting Kool-Aid and water together. But imagine if you take water, right, and you put a little oil in it and you put Kool-Aid in it. What happens? It doesn't marry well. That means there's a separation there that's keeping that powder from connecting to that oil and kept connecting to the water. And these are experiments, you can do at home. And it's very simple. You'll see a separation every single time. You'll see a separation. And if that powder can't connect, if it can't mix well with that water and that oil or whatever is in there causing that separation, then you're going to have clumps of little powder that's going to push out onto your screen or surface or whatever you're putting it on, and you're going to see it. Because it didn't dissolve because the oil is blocking it from making contact to marry. I know my stuff at the end of the day. I know I joke around on camera, have fun, but I know my stuff. So you don't do something for 14 years and not know your craft. I've seen just about everything in the book. I've been to all different types of forum sites. I've never seen these guys at any forum sites in any way. ABS forums, I've never seen them over there. I've never seen them over at Projector Central. There's a couple of forum sites that they have on Facebook. There's tons of them they have on Facebook. I've been on mostly all of those. They're not on there. And the reason why they're not on there is because people on there know what they're talking about. I'm not saying people on YouTube don't know what they're talking about, but you're going to have more of contact with people over there because that's what they do over there. YouTube is all about different things. Those sites, it's all about one thing. So they know what they're talking about. Even the audio connoisseurs that have setups, they may have TVs and stuff, but these guys do know their projection screen, and they're going to ask those questions. And then you're going to have your, trying to shoot your dead in the water individuals, and the best trolls you will ever bump into will be over there. Those are the guys who will question you on every single thing, and you're going to have the evidence to back it up. If not, and they're going to shoot holes all through you. And we can go over there every single day and have fun. That's why you see me on camera. Like, can't wait to take this over to the ambient light rejection section over there. They got to see this. So yeah, you got to know what you're doing. Can't be getting on camera. Now, if it's a hobby and you're just out there just spouting out and whatever, it's a hobby, whatever. But the minute you attach a PayPal shopping cart to this and you allow consumers to come in and purchase your item, this is where you can get into a lot of trouble if you're not backing up things 100%. So this is where it no longer becomes a game anymore. Let me see. Okay, we got everything we need from here, so we're good. So we're going to, this is the which one where we had the technology at. This is going to be removed pretty soon. And we are going to the process of, let me see, pages, marketplace. Let me see what we have here. So I used to have it down here. I can see they've been updating because it used to be here in this section, but it's not in this section anymore. So they must have moved it to somewhere else. Let's go to settings. Here we go. They got it up here now. Hide page. So now this page is no longer available. So when this page activates, you won't see it. Go on. Marketplace no longer exists here. So anyway, so getting back to what we want to do with eBay, we want to have a section have good merchant, and good merchant basically has all the merchants we do business with. I had a merchant who was selling these Chrissy 1080p projectors for around $280. I was like, oh my goodness, projectors are so expensive. For the 1080p models, yeah, very expensive. And he had a bunch of them, and I was contacting him, like, how many do you have, this, that, and the other, so and so and so. I said, okay, then get ready, because yeah, I posted them everywhere. I had people buying his stuff left and right. As a matter of fact, there's a guy, a friend of mine, who was a Sony fan. He's a Sony fan. He had Sony, because I bought Sonys. I had Sonys at one point throughout the entire place, and I saw the Chrissy's. I've been wanting a Chrissy for day one. And the reason why I found out about a Chrissy was because there was a customer I had a long time ago was talking about this projector he had, and he said that they stole his projector. They literally locked down the shop and took his machine. I'm like, what kind of machine did you have? At the end of the day, it's going to cost a company, not a big company, like a small little mom and pop setup. But anyway, shut down and take a machine. So apparently, machine he had was very expensive. And the lens he had on it was a ultra short throw, and ultra short the lenses on Christie's can cost you about 30 grand. So yeah, I can see why they walked off with it. And the parts on those machines are so expensive. That particular model, yeah, very expensive. So I see what that happened right there. He should have took it to more professional, but he wasn't really thinking at the time. And he said, man, that projector gives off amazing color. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the way he kept going on about this projector, I'm like, I gotta find this projector. I gotta get me one of these. I looked around. They were quite expensive at the time. I couldn't find anything in my price range. Sure enough, one day I look up and no, my ex found it. She found it. She said, I bought a couple of projectors and we can do a projector packaging. I said, that's not a bad idea. That's pretty a good idea. So we set up a projector packaging, and when I saw the projectors came and they were Chrissy's, I was like, what in the world? Like, how would she know about a Chrissy projector? Because she didn't know anything about home theater setups. But she bought the Chrissy for some reason. She said, she liked the name, Chrissy. That's why she bought it. That was the actual projector I was trying to get my hands on. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm sitting there just staring at it. I'm keeping them all. I want them all for myself. I know we got to sell these. I was like, damn it. I turned that thing on, hit our screen paint. I was like, oh my goodness. You've got to be kidding me. Yeah, Chrissy projector is a beautiful, beautiful projector. Oh, even the older ones are beautiful. But when those things hit our technology, they're in another freaking world. I actually sent some pictures back to the company of me using their older projectors, and they were asking us, where do you want to go from here? I have never replied back to that because at that particular point, I wasn't ready to go down that road yet. I wasn't prepared for that yet. But I guess they figured, I don't know. Maybe I'll get back with them. Maybe they'll remember who I am. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah. Those projectors are now super affordable. They're all over eBay. Before, they're very hard to get. They're all over eBay. They're so much affordable. And on top of that, with that whopping 4,000 lumens, which we don't need to use, we use it at eco mode. They're incredible machines. And a lot of people sleep on the Chrissy's. They do. They see those projectors and they sleep on it. They have no idea how powerful those machines are. They're gorgeous machines. But that's why we do the demonstrations where we take the certifies, high-end grade screens, we take grade paints, we take white surfaces, and we stick them on a Christie. And if you notice, they don't pick up all that well. We stick them on our technology, these screens blow up. Yeah. I've had everything. I've had Christie's and Sony's. I had Panasonics and all that stuff. I had all that stuff, everything. But the projector I choose the most, when I say which projector do I like the most, it is going to be the Christie. Christie is my all-time favorite projector. Christie projector is so advanced that a 1080p, okay, we should change. A 1080p Christie projector and an ultra short throw would cost you $5 grand. I'm not talking about new. I'm talking about old. Like a 2011, 2012 model would cost you $5,000 for it. And they're rare to if you find one of these things. Ultra short throw, they do make them. It's a venue ultra short throw, which is interesting because it doesn't require the lens. That projector today would still cost you 5 G's, and that is far more expensive than what you would pay for a P2 or an Epson LS800. That ultra short throw, what they have in there, would put an Epson LS800 to shame. On so many levels, not even funny. The menus that they have in those things is way beyond your normal projector because they're venues, that's why. Like right now on your projector, majority of most projectors having lens shift capability is kind of like you have to spend money to get lens shift capability. That's where you can set your projector anywhere you want and you can shift the image anywhere you need it to go. I can have my image like 4 inches to the left from my actual screen and still have it in place. That's why lens shifts are very important on machines. Their keystone capability. Your keystone capability is what? You only have like one button for keystone, that's it. They can have 16 levels of keystone going on in there. Your aspect ratio, you'll have what, 3 in there maybe if you're lucky. They can have 10 in there. Its venues projector's menu is way beyond the menu of your everyday projector. Way beyond that. So things we have to teach people is that, let me see where I'm at here. Okay, my information's on that side. It's right here. What we have to teach people is, I want to start on that site, is how to teach people how to navigate eBay. If you're not comfortable, I got people that are comfortable navigating, then we have merchants that we do business with that you can go directly and buy from them, because that's where our direct customers go to. Or we send them a link on merchants we do business with, and they can go there and they can basically buy what they need right from there, from the link. And we'll find them a projector and send it back to them. Let me see. So my customers that you see some of the demonstrations, these are projectors that they're here, go buy them right there. And the thing about it is, we tested these projectors because we use them in our actual demonstrations. So we know we bought from the merchant. What better safe way of ordering off eBay from a business who has gone and bought projectors from that same merchant and used them in their test demonstrations and demonstrations on site in their environment. There you go. That's why the store trusted us, the business trusted us when we said, hey, these projectors right here will be fantastic for your storefront window. Have you used these before? Yes, we have many times. Video demonstration, video demonstration, video demonstration, video demonstration. There you go. You can't have, like, if you're saying, I'm familiar with this projector, people have P2s, you're not familiar with the projector. I'm going to tell you right now why. You're in a dark environment with a machine that's designed to be used like a TV. That's why you're not familiar with it. Has anyone taken that machine outside? Out of curiosity, have you taken one? Because I've seen P2s and setups outside. Can't say it's inside projector only. No, I've seen them outside and setups for scenes. Has anyone taken it outside? Has anyone taken it and put it in a fully lit environment, open up curtains, and then show the contrast capability of that machine? Anybody? Nobody has, because I look all that up. So if no one's done that, and every time I see a demonstration on a P2 projector, it's in the dark, then that means that pretty much if you're advising someone to buy that machine, you're advising them to pay $3,000 or $2,500 now for what it's worth and be in a dark environment, because that's all I've seen. I haven't seen anybody beat the promo demonstration yet. You seen their promo demonstration? I've never seen anybody beat one. I'm going to put a challenge up for P2 owners. I'm going to pre-record that demonstration. I'm going to put it up there on YouTube. I'm going to put a date on it. I bet you not one person, anybody on YouTube, will not take that projector and stick it in a fully lit environment and just display contrast only. Show me what a 2,000,001 looks like on your machine in a fully lit environment. I'm going to pre-record their promo and put a challenge up there today. Let's see how many people are beating promo commercials. Because I don't think I haven't seen one. Now, the Optima, if you're asking me at the end of the day, the Optima GT 5500 and 5600, I own both projectors. You have an Optima P2. I had an Optima GT 55 and 56. I beat their promo commercial. I took the projector outside, hit it at 140 inches, but that projector is only designed to do 100 inches. That's it. We got it at 140 inches outside. I got it not at nighttime, evening hours. I got starfield demonstrations, snow level demonstrations. I produced fish. We had all kinds of stuff going on out there. Now let's beat that promo demonstration. We beat promo demonstrations all the time. I beat Sony's promo demonstration. I beat Christie's promo demonstration. Panasonic, I beat their promo demonstration. Promo. The Hitachi, I think it is, ultra short though, 2200 lumens. I beat the crap out of their promo demonstration. I got 100-inch with lights right next to the projector. At 2200 lumens. So you have to be able to prove that, you know, I haven't seen anybody really use that projector. If I'm going to be going buying a P2, I'm a first-time buyer, and it replaces the TV, you can't, I wouldn't be sold on what I saw. I would literally go and buy a TV. I wouldn't dare buy it. What, to be stuck in the dark all day long? Oh, heck no. If I'm watching contrast on a TV, something that's going to have heavy contrast levels, I know I'm going to get that from my TV. I'd rather deal with the temperaments of OLEDs TVs than be stuck in a dark environment, getting a shade of gray, trying to convince my brain that I'm seeing black and I'm technically not seeing it. Let me see. So that's what I want to see. I want to see somebody beat that promo demonstration. I've seen influencers with those projectors, every single one in a dark environment. Your environments are literally so dark, I can see the reflection of the picture bounce off the chassis of the projector itself, and that is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. On a projector that costs that much money with a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast capability, you mean to tell me that the environment is so dark I can literally watch any the content that you're watching bounce off the chassis of your machine and reflect? Can't see that on any of my projectors. It doesn't even show up. And then when you see a dark environment and they go, oh, look how deep and rich the contrast levels are. Are you kidding me? I can take gray paint and a projector with 1,000 to 1 contrast, stick it in a dark environment, and literally mimic the exact same thing you did. Because in the dark, pretty much contrast really technically doesn't even exist because it's being mimicked. Your contrast level should be to operate in a fully lit environment with no problem. The reason why it can't, because the screen won't let it. That's the problem. Now, if they had that projector P2 on a black screen, you could turn that off. What the freak would you need freaking contrast levels on a projector if your screen's automatically black? You can operate that in a fully lit environment because it absorbs. But people try to develop black screens, ran into problems because, again, they thought they could just go up there, turn the screen black, no testing whatsoever, ran into a ton of complications that popped up. One of them was ultra short throw. They couldn't read on an ultra short throw machine. There's problems that were popping up. That can be the result of hot spotting that could trigger that off. There's a number of things that can pop off. Your screen's not producing a high enough white level. And sometimes ultra short throws can turn screens darker than they are. They have that capability to do that. That's why certain certified screens don't run off them, because they can literally turn the screen darker than what it previously is. There are a lot of things that ultra short throw can plague a black screen on. On top of that, you're dealing with black screens. The white levels are dramatically super low. And you can see this because when you watch the OLED demonstrations, anything they show, OLED shows these super bright, vivid, colorful images, but the background is like the super dark, black hole black. What I see in demonstrations where people try to do black paints is we see that the edges around the areas that are supposed to be super bright, they're dull and they're dirty. And then the image in the back is black. That's what we see. It's not supposed to be that way. That's why it has to be white level test at 1,000 lumens. It has to be distance throw to see how much of the projector's image gets ripped up by how much light you have in the environment. The less lumens you have making contact with the screen, the harder for the screen is going to have to be to generate those white levels. So distance throw and that particular lower end projector is very important. Using it at a high powered machine is pointless because, again, your lumen count, even though it's traveling to that light, it's still maintained in a certain degree because it has a sacrifice field for how many lumens it can drop before it hits the screen. That's why venue projectors have tons of freaking lumens on it, because it'd be a farther distant to the more hostile lit environment, which means that, hey, we're going to sacrifice 10,000 lumens by the time we hit that screen, but we got 60,000 lumens, so we're good to go. As long as that screen hits a certain requirement of lumens, it can activate. See, they don't tell you this stuff because you know why? They don't know what you're talking about. That's why. So that's why we do demonstrations at 1,000. If you use a 60,000 lumens at around 16 feet to nail a screen in a hostile environment, and you barely made that pickup, and we did it at 1,000, which means we were left to next to nothing, and we did make the pickup perfectly, that tells you that my product is better than yours. Yeah. And that tells a commercial company that instead of us spending $150,000 for that projector, this guy turned around and did it for far less. Because the less of the lumens, the cheaper the machine. Now, when you do the demonstration where you have the test where you have the black paint, which you have to do the either way, you can't get around that, or gray paint or whatever that matches your screen. You take the black paint and you take a white surface. And we hit that at 1,000 lumens. That means that that color behind the back of that screen is going to have to maintain a nice, bright, sharp image without having any tannish look to the screen or any discoloration. The black surface can't read it because it can't register white light because it's everyday black paint. So therefore it comes out dark and dirty. The white surface can't register it because it can't read contrast at all, and therefore the image washes out. our technology in the middle picks up a bright image that allows it to be able to look up a perfect color balance without eliminating the fact that you never would have to calibrate your machine. That's what calibration does. It corrects your colors because they're thrown off because the screen's not reading it correctly, because the projector is producing, nothing wrong with the projector. The projector is producing perfectly fine. People want to blame it on the projector and go, oh, we have to calibrate the machine. There's nothing wrong with the projector. It's your screen that's having the issue. They blame it on the projector all the time. We use old projectors over here that their color levels are not on the advanced color levels as projectors today. Do you hear me blaming it on a projector? No, it's the screen. So if I take a certified screen and I stick it against my screen, it doesn't pick up the same color. If I take a white surface and put it against my screen, it doesn't pick up the same color. If I take a gray and so forth, it doesn't pick up the same color. If we take everyday black paint, it doesn't pick up the same color. So it's not the projector's fault. It's the screen's having the issue. You got it backwards. All this time they've been telling you, calibrate your projector, calibrate your projector. Blah, blah, fake. Stop doing that dumb nonsense. That's just stupid. It's stupid. It's a waste of time. We've never calibrated, ever. So this is the reason why when I go on site, see, on YouTube, I can voice my opinion here, but on site it's a different audience. I got the masses. I can have millions, thousands out there listening to what I say at the end of the day. My voice is heard and echoed more out there than it is on here, because I can set shows up, show off these screens, and I can educate masses, and that's what I plan to do. I told you I plan to change the game, and that's what I plan to do. All that nonsense you've been told on YouTube, that's a bunch of crap at the end of the day. And any one of those people, any one of those influencers, any day of the week, you want to challenge me, you let me know. I have no problem. You think you know your stuff? You may know stuff about the projector. Yeah, they're pretty well advanced in knowing these different projectors and stuff like that, they are. When it comes to the screens, you don't know jack. Because every time you grab one of these high-end, expensive projectors, where are you at? Why are you in the dark with a machine that's 33, 4,000, 5,000 lumens? And it's an ultra short though. You're right on top of the screen. Why are you that close with that many lumens? Maybe it's because the color won't look well and the contrast can't read. And you got a better chance of showing a better color and contrast if you're sitting in the dark. There's no excuse for even a 3,000 to be that close to a screen. No excuse. You're right there. Like I said, it's like the equivalent of duck hunt. You got some people who shoot behind the sofa, and you got some people that are right on top of the screen. If you're on top of the screen, what are the odds of you missing? Very low, right? Very low. You're right there on top of the screen. But if you're way back here, your chances of missing the screen are much greater. So if you have an ultra short throw projector and you're right here on top of the screen, you have 3,000 lumens hitting your screen. How are you missing this? So why are we sitting in a dark environment? Maybe it's because the contrast doesn't read and the color doesn't read, and it improves better once you're in a darker environment. Which means you cannot replace a TV. Because this monitor here can operate in a fully lit environment. Do you see me darkening the environment for this machine right here? You say, oh my goodness, we got a monitor on. Let me darken the environment, make it super dark. We don't have to. It's a monitor. It's insanity. It's crazy. No one would ever think that way in a million years. So why are you doing this with a projection setup that's designed to replace these things? You're not going to be able to do that. You don't have the right screen to do it. Now, if you stick it on one of these screens over here, especially that new technology we developed that can actually eat through light while it's sitting in the middle of a screen, now you've replaced it. You see my ultra short though sitting on the floor, going through that screen with all that lighting around it and picking up crystal clear with no problem at $60. There you go. That's what we're going to be setting up. When I go on site, when I do demonstrations, when I do trade shows, and I'm actually booking where people can come in and see our demonstrations, we can explain more about our products, because I do plan to have people come in and talk about what we're doing and what we're designing, what we're making, but also showing them. I plan to do these same talks we have here out there to everybody. I plan to have brochures on literature, on everything that I'm speaking and saying, to educate customers on what they should be looking for and how they should buy. Yeah. Now you see why people are fighting so hard to bring me down. It's not going to happen. This lie that you guys have been telling for the longest time is going to stop. It's going to stop. And we're going to put an end to it. So let's get to work, because we got things to do. Customers are getting ripped off left and right, and every time I talk to a customer, it's the same thing. I talked to a person from a church. Yeah, we got this projector. They advised us to get this white screen. They told us that the projector was going to produce to the white screen. It was going to, and we didn't get none of it. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. I have to go to Marketplace to put the new information in. That's why we have that contract there. That contract is there. Anybody. It can be anybody. At the end of the day, if you feel, we're going to have people try to say, oh, what everybody's saying is a lie. Well, if it's a lie, guess what? We can meet in court. It's simple. I'll sign it. I'll send it right over to you. It'll be notarized. It'll have my signature right on it. And I'll send it right to you. And we can walk into a courtroom. And you basically try to convince them that this stuff isn't real. You try to convince them that anything that I'm saying is not true. Because I can back it up 100%. I've been doing it since day one. Nobody wants to sign that contract because they know I know what I'm talking about. Y'all been doing this traditional dumb nonsense for the longest time. Customer is stuck in these dark environments, calibrating machines, being put in positions they don't have to be put into because you don't want to do the hard work to make a screen that actually works. Everybody wants to piggyback off this tradition. You know, it's easy. We just go in, just make this screen pane. You don't have to really do any testing because, you know, really customers don't expect that. Stick it in an environment called ambient light controlled, which means AKA, if they have a lot of lights on, this will improve the contrast and color. We'll calibrate our machines like there's something more than their product. You get home, it doesn't look the same, but you must think that, okay, whatever. You know, most people look at that, machines are calibrated. We'll just do things and just make it seem like, and then when we ask them, and they ask them today about the color, we'll just tell them, look, maybe you'll have to calibrate your machine. That kind of dumb nonsense. Or my personal favorite one is basically, you have to sit in the center of the screen in order to be able to optimize your viewing pleasure, which means you turn to the side, the screen goes dark on you because there's a narrow viewing cone sitting on top of it. Excuses, excuses. Let me see. I can pick up at 180 degree viewing angle on an ultra short though with a freaking LED light system it's right wrapped around my screen. I can read easily. So imagine our screens are sitting in commercial environments with that monster light system sitting around of it. This is not even, people come back and say, well, it's an abnormal lighting. It's supposed to be an abnormal lighting. What are you talking about? Because if we're in abnormal lighting, that means a customer that's in normal lighting, it's going to work like a dream, isn't it? Because the screens are used to going through tremendous amount of stress. So we want them to do. We don't want to make it easy for them. We want to make it harder for them. And if I have to be in a situation where I have to be in commercial, guess what? I'm good to go because my screens are used to surviving with a LED system in it. Most majority of the places we go are not going to have that setup. We're the only ones who have those setups. On top of that, it convinced the person who's doing business with us 100% it's going to generate in their environment because there's a high-powered LED system inside the screen. Now, can a gray screen do the same demonstration? Yeah. Can a white screen do the same demonstration? Yeah. Can Certify do the same demonstration? Yeah. Well, what's going to be the problem there? They can't pick up a contrast level. Because if you look at their demonstrations, they don't do those demonstrations. They don't do fully lit environment demonstrations. They do ambient light control demonstrations. That's why I can understand it. Do you really have real 100% ambient light projection technology? Do you have it? You brought an 8-hour screen, right? But do you really have it? You don't. You don't have it at all. I'm going to tell you right there from the door, you don't have it. I have people paint over those screens with their technology. You don't have it. If you can't turn your lights on and you can't pull that star field, if your colors are getting that orangey kind of tannish look, yeah, you don't have it. Mm-mm. Your cell phone will look better than your screen. That's pretty much the sad part about it. People spend all this money for a screen and their cell phones look better. This is where we have the new technology at. So let me go over here and put all the information in for this guy right here. So he's done. We have a platinum. I needed another color to complete. So we have something called a ILEG Platinum Black Widow. The reason why it's at 267 because we consider these to be our white screens. Our silver and platinum screens are far more advanced than your everyday screens. We have tons of testing on platinum. It's unbelievable how much platinum technology we've engineered. So, yeah, that's what we have right there. It's a 50-ounce container, by the way. It paints the screen size up to 180 inches, one coat application. That's what it's designed to do. Now, this is where we have to separate ourselves here. Because, again, I can't express it enough. You don't do our demonstrations. You don't have the test level we sit on. You have not tested any certified screens, and if you have, you're probably done just squeaky by one. We've done multiple ones. Big companies do not recognize you at all. They know us. How many commercial sites have you been on? This is the stuff that people don't see that they see in our demonstrations. Matching better. We put out tons of those demonstrations, right? How many people have matched one of those demonstrations yet? I already have a demonstration called 1100 lumen. It's in 2019. It's never been matched. It's 1100 lumen projector outside. Never been done. So for people who make paints at the end of the day, and you're bitter about what we're charging at the end of the day, complete the demonstrations. Show, don't get on camera, and don't cry about it, because we're tired of the crying. Back it up. That's all you got to do. Complete at least 60 of my matching betters. It could be worse. I could have asked for all of them. Mind you, we have 105 sitting in this one right now in climbing. So I've made about 500 products, all tested. I could ask you to complete all of those, but you'll never be able to reach that number. That's an impossible task. You couldn't complete it. So if you wanted to claim that you're on my level, you're going to have to complete it. If that machine does my screens, I'm showing projector mapping applications fired off on the screen, guess what that means? In order to say you have the same thing I have, you have to do projector mapping applications. If I'm outside at 250 inches, you got to be outside at 250 inches. Because there's a difference between a screen of 100 inches and a screen of difference of 250. Definitely a big difference in display. So you'll have to do the same thing. If I'm doing 235.1, you'll do 235.1. If I'm doing ceiling demonstrations, you'll do ceiling demonstrations. If I'm outside in front of a storefront and I got a screen absorbing 100,000 of direct sunlight, then guess what? You will do the exact same thing. A match or better. It means exact match or better. Same thing. Now, if you feel those tasks are a little too high up and you can't do it, guess what that means? That means you don't have my product. And you can't make my product, whatsoever. And if you feel the need that you can, then I got a $500,000 contract that says you can. Are you willing to sign it? And prove in court that you have made my product. I don't think you are. All right, then let's move on. So, what we compare our technology, we like to challenge is certified. SL screens, elite screens, DMP supernova. This is what we usually test against to show the advancements of our technology. When we go to different forum sites, we like to show this off because, again, it shows that our screen paint we developed that's under the $500 or $600 mark is basically can take out a screen at an easy $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. That's what our technology does at the end of the day. For the people at the end of the day who want to you want to compete with these screens, but the problem is you don't want to do demonstrations that you can show that you're better than these screens. And the reason why, because your product won't be to beat them at all, period. Because they can operate in some very heavy lit environments. I know, I've seen them, I've tested them, where you have a 2.0. I've never seen a gray screen paint where it's 0.8, 0.9. It's a 2.0, 0.1, 1.0. That's you. That's y'all guys at the end of the day. Y'all can't go any higher than that. These screens are much, much more darker. They can absorb more light. They pick up a much better shade of gray than you guys do at the end of the day. They read better color than your screens. They're way more advanced than your screen. So if we can easily show multiple demonstrations and are able to overpower these screens, what made you think that you were in our category when you haven't even gone near these screens? Then we're not the same, right? Okay, then let's move on. So when people buy our stuff, these are people who don't want to spend the 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. They're not even thinking about you at the end of the day. They're thinking about the big boys. They want the best of the best. So they're going to go near these big top screen makers and they're going to see what they got and they're going to buy from them. But looking upon the sticker price, which is extremely expensive, that's when they bump on us and see our testing. This is why I can go to forum sites of people who have these screens and show them the results of our technology versus what they actually have on their wall right now. You can't do that. It sounds like a lot of jealousy to me. That's what it sounds like to me. So just leave it at that. So if my price and you feel is too expensive, then there's other things you can go do. There's other paints you can make yourself. At the end of the day, that's what you can go do. But I guarantee at the end of the day, you ain't going to find anything that's matching mine. That's why when I make my price point for my paints, we have paints that range up to $500-something. We have paints that range to $4 and $3. And then we make one basically for the consumer, which is around 260s in the 200 range in that area right there. And that technology can do something that your product can't even do. I've literally got that silver technology can turn a gray screen orange. Watched it in demonstrations. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a halo system on that thing soon too. I want to see what that ILEG stuff looks like on it. We had to upgrade the gain on it so I can do that. All right, put my description right here. Boom, because I was waiting to put this in. There we go. Now, this gunmetal technology we make here actually is more advanced than the gunmetal on the market today. Make sure all my stuff is in here. Transfer it over to there. I need to put red into that one. That has to be red. Yeah, because that's keep out of pets right there. Not too sure thing. That should be in bold writing. Alright, and it should be in red too on top of that. Now we're going to have the 50 ounce will be available overseas. That's the silver. We do ship those overseas. The only ones that will not be available overseas are 1 gallons. We're not shipping 1 gallons anymore, but everything else, 24, 32s, all those are shippable overseas. We haven't decided on the screen yet. The screen I haven't decided yet because again, we got to figure out how we can shrink these things. If I can shrink these things to the size that I want, like we can ship a, man, I'm trying to get it in one of these boxes over here. We can shrink that screen and get it in one of those boxes. That would be fantastic. It's the poles that had to be shrinked. If we can get it some way where the poles can fit in a box that's, yeah, like one of these medium boxes we have over here, that would be fantastic because that basically makes it shippable anywhere. So that's what the main goal is when we're building this screen and putting this thing together, is trying to make it so we can ship this thing anywhere. 100, 120 inch screen, I think we can do it. I think we can get it. It's going to be interesting, man. I'm telling you, when you're building your own frames are really interesting, especially when you have to take them apart. Because then you have to consider the fact of the material and the frame itself, especially if you have joints in between to make areas snap together. So it gets complicated when you have to get into the math of it all. People think you just built the frame and you're done. Yeah, but when you're making a frame that has to be taken apart and reassembled, that's a whole different world by itself. So if you start off with the basic 4 feet by 7 feet, that's a 100 inch screen. Even though your surface is 4 feet by 7 feet, the frame itself, if it's regular fabric, mind you, you're still going to have to stretch it around because it has to be nice and tight. So if you decide to go with spandex, spandex is going to give, which means you're going to have to make it a little bit smaller. So when it stretches, it actually, this is another theory, it actually stretches around the screen. But keep in mind, you'll be losing some of the screen when you stretch it around. Unless you make the frame actually 4 feet by 7 feet, you make the surface smaller, so when it stretches, it fits tight like a drum. But no, this is going to run into a whole lot of problems. A whole lot of problems. So you have to have a way in order to be able to feed the piping through the screen. But if you make the screen too loose, then it basically takes away from the picture and distorts it. And you have to remember, when you're building this thing, you have to cut this thing in half, so that way you can shorten the screen's length size, which makes it smaller than put in boxes. But you're going to have to put a joint piece in between each piece. So it depends on how the piping's going to fit. If the piping fits where it meets right next to each other, then you have the approximate 7 feet that you need to make the screen. But say if that joint piece leaves just a 2-inch gap, now you got 2 inches extra added to your frame. That gets into nightmares. This is where you have to figure out every joint that you put in there that locks the screen together. Each piece is going to have to lock touching each other, each pole. If it doesn't, and it leaves a 1-inch gap, you have a 1 inch on each corner of every gap, every joint that you put in, which is going to add additional 4 inches to your frame. Welcome to my world. That's what I'm working on right now. So I have to go through multiple piping systems to figure out, or maybe engineer our own that will allow those pieces that connect together to fit nicely. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. In between the time, I'm doing this too at the same time. So when I'm doing this, I'm offline doing tons of research on finding a system that allows us to piece piping together where basically those pipes in between connect. Because if it's 7 feet, we cut that thing in half. That means the screen's going to be 3.5 feet in order to be able to make the 7 feet. But keep in mind, it has to be connected. So the connecting system that goes together means that it has to allow each pipe to connect together. They have to touch. If they don't touch, and that thing leaves a 1 inch, 2 inch, or 3 inch, that's 3 inches added to the screen. Can't do that. It's not going to work. And if it's 3 inches added to the screen, that means that the surface in the middle is either not going to make contact to the side, or it's going to make too much contact to the side, and this could throw it off completely. Yeah, welcome to my world. And then when you get done, oh, we're not done yet. When you get done with figuring this all out, then you're going to have to take that surface and you're going to go to the laundromat and you're going to wash it again and again and again and again. You're going to throw it to dryer after dryer after dryer. You're definitely going to beat the living crap out of this thing because you're curious exactly how much heat it's going to take to shrink this thing, or if it's going to shrink in the process. That's the first thing you might want to start off with. It'll be coated, and you're going to wash it again and again and again and again and again and again. See how much abuse it's going to be able to take. So I literally had to do that. See, that's when I talk about people who want to do shortcuts. When you do shortcuts, you make a screen, you throw it up there. You don't know what's going to happen to that surface. You don't test it. You have to test it. You'll literally be sitting there in a laundromat on your phone watching your screen get washed in a washing machine to see exactly how much abuse this thing's going to take, or how much heat it's going to take to cause this thing to shrink. There you go. So if you haven't done any of that stuff and you don't have any of that research in your head, you're in a lot of trouble. Because if that person buys your screen and say something happens to them, say somebody throws a hot dog at it or something happens, kids do crazy stuff. They throw a hot dog at one person, they'll hot dog at another person, and they duck in the screen with dirty hands and messes it up, or a dog pees on it, or a bird poops on it, or whatever happens. It's outside. Mine is made to be taken apart and taken inside, but things happen. They happen. So that's why you have insurance, because things happen. Any of this stuff happens and you go, gee whiz, I gotta wash this screen. We can put down at the bottom, machine washer safe. You know why? Because Mr. Bird sat there for hours in a laundromat washing that surface. That's how I know my stuff. When someone at the end of the day didn't want to do the work because they were too lazy, and they decided to put whatever they wanted to put down there because they were too lazy, well, that's the problem they're going to have at the end of the day. So if I ever had to go into court and back that up, I would like, hello, how you doing, people? Yeah, this is me. There's some things I don't post on testing that you will never see. That's the scary thing about walking into a courtroom with me. Not everything I do is posted. I have pre-recorded stuff on my phone of testing that I have done that you don't even know about. So I'm just waiting for someone to say something stupid. We get in court and I can, here you go. This is me in a laundromat. Yeah, hours and hours of washing this screen to make sure it doesn't crack or peel. These are my tests right here. Never saw those, did you? There you go. You don't see everything. We never do that. We always leave something out. How do you call those nails in the coffin? Is we have to go and put these things back in all over again. Yes, we're going to have to put these. All these the paint down demonstration. These are something you're supposed. Also, to customer. You see this right here? These links right here. And every shopping cart, you should see one of these. You know what this is? This is a fast paint down demo. This is what you're supposed to see. A screen being painted in, being dried in front of you, and displayed. If you're watching a screen and it's just doing the paint and dry and that's the end of it, no, that's not good. You need to see a full demo. So if you're not getting the whole thing, then there's something wrong there. If you're watching videos and they're going in and they're painting the screen and then all of a sudden they edit it right to whatever video they're showing, you never saw the drying processing time, that's not good. Because anything could happen in that timeline. So we got a dry demonstration. This is another demonstration with lights on, which you need to see. Fully lit environment. Meters must be in the environment to show they're not using form of an ambient light controlled environment. You know, I've seen people use meters before we did. Several of the individuals were using meters. One was using a cell phone meter when he first started. You can't use cell phone meters. Cell phone meters are inaccurate. They don't basically give you the right readings all the time. You have to go and get a professional meter. That's what you need to get. So I went out and got a professional meter because his readings were way off. So I got a professional meter and I brought it on. That orange meter I have, Mr. Digital meter, I bought that. We bought them first. And then the rest of them, when we bought them, they copied after us and they got them. So I got a meter, did the research, picked out the one that I wanted that would suit us best. And you guys were using cell phone meters, your cell phone apps, which are inaccurate. And then after we show off our meter readings on a real meter, then they go back and get our meter and try to explain that we don't know how to use it. That sounds pretty sad. Judging by what I've seen where they put their meters at, they had meters that were in the windows. They had meters on tables, which would be closer to the light. One had meters next to a door and a bookcase. And one actually took the meter and put it up high so the readings would be thrown off and brought it back down. I've seen all kinds of tricks. We are the ones who started meters in the center of the floor. So what to do is we'll come out with these rules. We'll follow these rules, do them by the book, and then they'll come later on and then do the same thing we do and then sit there and go, oh, we've been doing this way from day one. No, you haven't. We started all that. I can go back and show you demonstrations of lights on bar lights on screens from 10 years ago. We did all that stuff already. The difference between me and them is I have an archives. You don't. I have technology that goes back for years. You don't. I can show technology growing from a tiny little room, evolving into gray screens, gunmetal screens, black technology, and everything else in between. You don't have a track record. We do. It's like having a football team that doesn't have a throwback jerseys, if you know what I mean. You know, because the team's new. They don't have throwbacks. The old school teams back in the day, old school teams, Eagles all in the day. Oh yeah, by the way, Eagles, yeah. But anyway, I got some people to contact too pretty soon. Like, yeah, how about them Eagles? I said, because I got some Dallas fans I'm gonna have a conversation with. I just want to make sure we got this. We clinched this first. But yeah, I got some people to contact in Dallas. I got family in Dallas. Say, yeah, what's going on? You want to pick up the phone? Why you want to pick up the phone? I called like 3 times. I know you're over there. I had a video chat with one of them. But you want to pick up the phone. I asked you a question. You know what's coming. You got to take the hit. How about them Cowboys? I said, how about them Cowboys? The Eagles is doing amazing right now. They're doing absolutely amazing. I see you. Click. I got a bunch of people to call. I can't wait. I got a list already. When I get done, I got a few people to call. They say Eagles weren't going to get that far. All right. Time for me to put on my little dance. Time to break out the Eagles medallion. I got an Eagles medallion. Big old one that has a big old eagle on the front. Yeah. And Philly is already greasing down the poles. If you don't know what that means in Philly, it's not what you think it is. So basically, Philly goes a little buck wild. It does. Philly goes super buck wild. They call it the National Guard sometimes. It happens. It goes buck wild. And they grease down the poles because we have, look it up. It's a thing. They have a habit of climbing poles and taking them down. Literally, whole utility poles. The metal ones, not the other ones. And they climb up there. Most of them, they bring those things down all the time. Like literally. So the city got tired of it and they started using this really thick, heavy grease on the poles to keep people from climbing up. But they still get up there every year. It's like a tradition now. Your husband comes in, he's covered in grease. You know where he's been at. He's been up on one of them poles. Or rubbing against somebody who actually got hit with grease over it. It's real thick, heavy grease. And I guarantee you this, you can't wash that stuff out. So if you got Eagles jerseys on, oh man, you're drunk and you're climbing, yeah, that's just you. But yeah, they have it. They're going to have a big old, yeah, I'll be down there for the after party. There is no way in the world I'm going down there in the middle of that chaos. It is going to be absolutely psychotic down there. So they're literally calling in police from different districts. Philly party, they party hard. I'm going to see people. And go get a little celebration. It's my team. Let me see. Okay, we got this one. Is this one? This one's not converted because I can see right here it's not giving me that readout. So let me go over here and get that in there real quick. See, and this is why we gotta contact this guy at the NFL because I got a friend of mine who knows somebody at the NFL. We got different color screen paints. I do want to bring out these different color screen paints for people who can basically paint their color of their team and their ultimate man cave. Definitely. And I got an Eagles green coating that we have. Mind you, it has shifting technologies that can change to darker levels. And that's other things we're working. These are other projects we're working on. So imagine, like, I don't even care. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of Dallas, but it's business at the end of the day. And I got Dallas over it. I got a whole family full of Dallas over in whatchamacallit, over in Texas. So I am designing him a blue screen for his setup. Now, he can put the whole NFL stuff around it, but I said, look, when you're advertising, we got nothing to do with that whole board thing. That's not even us, okay? We're just the ones that did the screen. That's it. So until we get that permission from them, then we can do that, man. They give me that permission, man. I'll be able to put that NFL logo anywhere I want at the end of the day and sell it just like that. Of course, they get a percentage of that. We don't get that for free. They get a percentage of that. And that'd be nice because then you have your whole setup. What better way you have your whole entire setup? You're an Eagles fan, Cowboys, and whatever you are. You got your whole setup hooked up. And here you are. You got a screen that matches the color of everything you have and for your team. That would be sick. But we got that technology already. And that's what I want to get into. But this is stuff we're working on for this coming year coming up. Let me see. All right, that one's locked in. This is a lights off demonstration. This is lights on demonstration we have here. This is white level on our gunmetal technology. This is what you should have customers when you're going in to look into a shopping cart. These links need to be in here. But this gives you an idea what you're buying. Reading about something is okay, but it's not enough for me at the end of the day. I do things on the way I want things to be done. If I'm going to buy something at the end of the day, I need to see a lot of information on it. And that's why when I tell you PayPal will go through your website, they will literally go through your website and read through your stuff. If you don't have enough information on your site, you could very well lose your claim. They come on our site, there are tons of videos, tons of information. We got tests splattered all over the site. Our shipping policies are huge. These things right here, these are our specification sheets. Our specification sheets max out at 8,000. We max them out all the time. We literally have so much information On our shopping carts, we had to build showrooms, separate showrooms to house the rest of the information, the demonstrations, videos, tons of pictures. That's what you're supposed to have on your site. So when a person comes on there is a ton of information. They should not be able to breeze to your site just like that. I can walk through someone's site easily, be done. I don't want to read a whole, some people don't want to read a whole bunch of stuff. They want to see videos, demonstrations, all that stuff. That's what they need to see. So that's why you have to have all done there. The black versus black demonstration is extremely important because they need to know exactly what they're getting. Exchange program, shipping policy program, and you see all that. That's why we have a ship back where you can ship the item back. Some people copy. Our policy is so good. We literally had people copy our specification sheets, and we had people go in and copy our shipping policy. And mind you, the shipping policy, you don't copy people's shipping policies, by the way. If it's made for them, it's the reason why it's made for them. You can get yourself in a whole lot of trouble copying someone's shipping policy because you would have to meet the demands that's on that policy. We have a ship back policy. We have all products are tested, as you can see, which in every demonstration of every product we show off, what do I say? People say, you're going to sell it. We can't sell it right now. What do I say? It needs to be tested. 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 So all that test we do on this product at the end of the day showed that that product was clearly tested before we shipped to customer. That means in courtroom, you're in a lot of trouble because we can literally show that product was tested before we sold it to anybody. This will get you in a lot of trouble because they're going to ask us, Mr. Bird, do you have any proof that this product was tested before you sold to the customer? You hear that come out of a judge's mouth? Automatically, you all know from the door that you have walked into some craziness because you're about to lose your shirt in that courtroom. Because you know I'm a tester at the end of the day. I test my stuff. Oh, yeah, we have this done. Here we go. Oh, by the way, Your Honor, forgot to add. We have batch number verification. What's batch number verification? That's where we test the product on each product before it ships out to the customer. Rebacking the test all over again. And we do have a ship back policy showing that if the customer disapproves, even though it shows that the product is well tested, they can ship it back to us and we will test it in front of YouTube Live for everybody to see. You're screwed on so many levels. It's not even funny how bad it's going to get in that courtroom. There you go. That comes from people who want to do dirty to us. If you decide that you want to override PayPal and you want to go to your bank, I'm going to your bank too. I'm going to track your bank down. I'm going to find your bank. Go in and send them a nice, long, lengthy letter. Explain to them that your product was tested and send them samples of the same product you purchased from us. And your bank's going to turn around and file bank fraud against you. And we're going to file fraud against you for committing lying to a bank of institution about my company and saying things that weren't true. And I'm going to take you to court on that. See, this is the part I don't understand. This is the part we need to understand here. If we are willing to walk into a courtroom to bring this in front of a judge, how would this make us scammers? Scammers don't want to walk in front of a judge. Scammers don't want to go into a courtroom because they have done things they shouldn't have done, and that's the last place they want to be at. Well, we're the ones with contracts that are telling people, hey, sign it. We'll walk in the courtroom with no problem. And they're the ones that don't want to go in. So if we're willing to say, hey, we'll go to court with no problem. All right, come on, let's go. And you're going, oh, you know what? This ain't even worth my time right now. Well, then what's the problem then? See, that's the part I don't understand. We're the ones that offer people to go into court. They don't. I haven't heard any of them say, hey, I'll sign this. Go ahead, I'll sign. No problem. Ain't a problem for me. But, I can back it up. That's why we have cancellations, because we can back it up. All right, then. I think it all now comes down to what we call jealousy. That's what it comes down to. Because we gave people opportunities, many opportunities. Nobody wants to do matching betters. They want to stay away from them. No one wants to sign contracts. They don't want to stay away from them. They want to cancel orders when you come to buy products. They want to shut down websites. That doesn't sound like somebody that can back their stuff up. And now with all the ranting now, that's just jealousy. Contracts there, gentlemen. Anytime. I'll send it to a P.O. box. I'll send it to your email. Or I'll send it to your address. Either way, it'll have my signature on it. It'll have the notary already done on it. You just sign it. And when you come up here, we go to court and take care of it. That's all. But they don't want to do that. So we're the ones offering to go to court, not them. Because their stuff doesn't work. That's why they can't walk into a courtroom with that stuff. They'll get their shirt cleaned. They'll get their shirt ripped off. They'll get their clock cleaned. Better way of putting it. So, again, yeah, just walk in court. We have no problem with that. I get a chance to go in there and show my technology off to other people, which I like to do, and explain a little bit, get a couple orders and some sales, and maybe get a contract to be able to fix those white screens they're having look absolutely awful. Get a chance to do a little advertising, have a little fun in there. Yeah, this is another day of work for me. For you, it's a nightmare. For me, it's opportunity. Difference. But customer needs to see these links. It's very important that these links are in there, that you see these, because again, a lot of talk and chatter, not enough. You have to see it. And this is one of the things I noticed when I went into different sites, not their sites, I mean different company sites, and I'm looking at their setups, and I'm like, well, there's a lot of pictures in here, man. These pictures ain't really telling me anything at the end of the day. I need to see actual videos. So I'm not seeing enough on the site. I go to YouTube and I try to track down something. It's not a lot. It wasn't a lot for me. That's okay. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to do something where we're going to show a lot of videos. We're going to do demonstrations. I built my business on watching what other people weren't doing. So everybody else in there, nothing but pictures, a lot of talk, no real demonstration. Some paint down demonstration, that's basically about it, but not enough to keep me happy at the end of the day. So I did the opposite. And that's why we have all this stuff today. All right, let me see. Category. Everything here is good. All this is in here. It's crazy. It's the gunmetal. Let me go over here and get a cop swipe on this. We got free large gallons. So not going overseas now. What we're doing. So that is what we do. So yeah, I got no problem. As a matter of fact, PayPal loved their policy. They were like, wow, that's a crazy policy. I was like, yeah, we back it up. I'm a person that's for backing up. I love doing that at the end of the day. I love it. So again, they loved it. I was trying to see right now, I'm talking to a few people on PayPal of making batch number verification a thing, and I want it to be a thing. And guess what? I got little pamphlets on batch number verification and why we need to have it for everything. And the only people this is going to scare is people that are doing the things they shouldn't be doing. They're the only ones that are scared by that. And I'm going to pass that out. Everything that I'm saying here, people, I'm going to have a platform out there to talk about everything I talk about on here. And I'm going to talk about the whole thing about why white screens don't function well, why gray screens are basically obsolete, and they are obsolete products now. They need to upgrade to something darker. Why people spend too much money on certified screens. Why I'm going to preach on everything. Why you shouldn't be stuck in dark environments, all that stuff, everything, the whole 9 yards. Ambient light controlled environments, a joke. Ambient light projection technology, a joke. Now, for anyone out there that does an ambient light projection screen and you're in a controlled environment, you failed. Because the whole purpose of that screen is designed so you can be in an environment to be able to absorb light. But if you're controlling the environment to make the screen work, it's a fail. That's a fail from the door. So, yeah, I'm challenging all that, everything. If you're claiming to have a screen, you have a gray screen or even a gunmetal screen, a dark gunmetal screen, and you're making claims that you pull up Infinity 1, you pull a black level, I'm going to challenge you on that. I would even challenge you in court on that. Because you can't go in there and say that a gunmetal screen pulls a black level? No. Our gunmetal technology is darker than yours, and that thing doesn't pull 100% infinity level. Where are you getting that from? No. Can't do that. So up here, I'll have brochures to pass out, and especially if people are going online, I'm directing them to look for batch numbers. If it's not batch numbers, it's not guaranteed. Now, your batch number, does it have to be the same what we're doing? No. It just has to back up what your product is actually doing. If you say your product, you have a gray screen paint, and you say your gray screen paint contrast levels are fair, but actually enhance if you're in a darker environment. That's telling the truth. If you're telling people at the end of the day that your gray screens can operate in fully lit environments and maintain a 100% black level, that's a lie. You have to tell the truth. Can't be just opening up doors and windows and faking it and saying, hey, it works. And then later on, you got a customer opens up 2 windows and the screen disappears. If that's up his batch number, he would have never went through that nonsense to begin with. And he paid for that. He paid for that product. He took the time, you watched him to paint that screen in. That's time someone put into something that they can't get back to end up with those kind of poor results. And yes, we are going to be using those examples too, by the way. We have that right. But anyway, so batch number is very important and it's needed. And I think PayPal and other institutions should require them. This way it cuts down on all the nonsense. Customers get a 100% guarantee that their products are tested before they ship out the door, and the merchant can back their product up 100%. It's win-win. And it roots out other people at the end of the day that are doing things they should not be doing. That's why the batch number is very important. So like I said, if you can have batch numbers for sneakers, it doesn't be just screen paints. Sneakers. You take these sneakers, you record it, you do your demonstration. It's nice because it's advertising for your business. You're showing online, this is a sneaker so and so and so. And on the box, well, you have it right there on the box. This is the number, and on this number on the box matches the video, or the day of the video that I did the video on the product. Put it in the box. Show the inside of your box. Put everything in there nice. And put the latest I sold toys over on eBay in the choice. Wrap everything up. And then basically post your video and send it to them and send them a link to the video showing it's all tested. So you know what's in your box. So when your item gets there, they can't say, oh, it was not as described, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. No, I have a video showing that I basically inspected the product, put it in the box, everything. And if you request for your item back and they send you back a box of books or whatever, then they try to send you back, someone tries to scam you, send you back something, keep your product and say, hey, I never got it to begin with. You got all of it documented. You can take them to small claims court, get your money back. Because you have it right there proving, time stamped on YouTube, even backed up on your phone, showing that you basically expected the product, it was working perfectly fine, and what was in that box. Whatever comes back that's not in that box, you can take them to court for it. And you can take them to small claims for it too, on top of that. Which you need no attorney at all whatsoever. Go in there, your filing fee is going to be something roughly about $100. Do your filing fee. It's really easy to do. And then from there, they will send them certified mail to their front door. It's not going to be by process server. It'll be certified mail to them, summoning that they have to be in court and they're being sued. That's it. Open and shut. Easy to do. That's all you got to do. And the maximum you can sue in small claims court is 12 grand. You can literally go in there and sell somebody a pair of sneakers that may cost them like $2 or $3 and walk off with $12,000. Show them they cause you stress, mental anguish, stuff like that. There's points put against your account, stuff like that. You'll pay for that, for doing that kind of stuff. Yes, you will. So something that could have cost you easy $300 costs you 12 grand now. And you'll pay for all court costs on top of that, which means it's filing fee, you're going to pay for that. So that's why I said that's why the batch number is important. It backs. Now, for the customer, this is also fantastic. And I'm watching this like, oh, shoot. Like he's showing the whole thing and everything. It's got a date. That it helps me at the end of the day. Because now I know what I'm getting works 100%, and I'm not being scammed by a merchant. It works on both sides. If I had got a batch number when I ordered that $500 NEC projector, I'd have showed that he plugged it in, it was testing, all the lights were working and all that stuff, him putting it in the box, taping it up, the whole 9 yards and everything. When I got that machine here, it would have been working. Instead of me getting a machine here where it was cracked on the side, all the lights were flashing, it was a piece of junk at the end of the day he sent over here because he was trying to get money off an insurance scam. That's what he was doing. That's why he requested me to send the item back, and he would return my money back to my account with no problem. And I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing here. You're running an insurance scam where you're basically overcharging for the insurance on this item, and you're sending this thing in a rinky-dinky box that you know it's going to look like it got damaged somehow, and you're collecting on the insurance that you're doing. Well, we're going to put it into that. And I was ticked off. I couldn't care about getting my money back. I needed the item for work. Now I got to reschedule everything all over again. The video, we had time set up for that and find something else to replace it. So yeah, and they told me not to send it back because again, that's what he was using it for. So yeah, if I had got a batch number on that, that'd have been fantastic. Because then I'd have known exactly what I was getting. People who went out and bought, perfect example, as I said before, that network grade 773 fiasco that went down, that mess. And if people would have got batch numbers showing that his product did not match everyday grade paint, you know what I mean? That would have, again, helped him. Because again, it would have showed that if anyone made any accusations about his product matching house paint, he would have been able to fight that in court. By saying, no, you're wrong. I have tests right here showing a massive difference, not a hiccup, not a bump, no, it doesn't work. You have to show a massive difference. If you look at these two PCs right here, right, you can see that one's white and one's black. You can tell the difference between the two. They're not the same, are they? They're two different colors. That's how much of a difference you have to show to win something in court. But if there's something like this, like say, like, okay, let's say these are two different colors. They're this close together, you're not winning it. You're not winning that case. It's not enough substantial evidence to prove that those are two different completely colored. You're going to have a problem. Like, for instance, if I were to say my cell phone case and that's not going to help you in court. That's going to get you in a lot of trouble. It's not enough to show that there's a huge, massive difference at all, period. Not at all, period. You're going to have to show something like this. Now you can see there's a difference between the two. That's an open and shut case. So what he was showing in his videos, that little hiccup where he had to be that, no, never, that would never have passed in court, ever. So if he had did those tests and showed this when he was showing his product off, that would have saved his life. That would have helped him right there. That would have convinced his customer. They weren't buying everyday house paint. That would have helped out. But if you're doing this, that's not going to help you. Because that shows at the end of the day that you didn't do enough testing to realize that your product is coming too close to matching something that a consumer can easily pick up out of a store. That right there can get you in a lot of trouble. That's why the batch numbers are important. But we got people got really mad at us because we wanted to do batch numbers for everybody do batch numbers, and they didn't want it. You know why? Because they had to put an end to them. And they put an end to what they were doing. And they didn't like the fact that we kept telling customers this. Because customers now are armed now with some kind of ammunition. Now when they go to a merchant, they can ask that question. Now, let me see. Here we go. But I shouldn't feel comfortable. If they see what we got right here. That should be up here, not down there. What do we have here? Yeah, this should be up top, right up front. You gotta have that. You gotta have those tests. It's important that you have those tests. This is going to save your butt in court. So you have to have those tests. If not, you're in a lot of trouble, especially if you run across a bad customer who is intentionally trying to rip you off. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're going to have to show those tests. And they're going to request them. You're suing a car dealership because you're saying at the end of the day the brakes they put on your system was faulty and it caused you to have a car accident. So what they're going to do is they're going to contact the company that made the brakes, and they're going to say, hey, we need to see all your testing on these brakes to show that your product is working properly. They're going to go through everything, and I mean everything with a fine-tooth comb. They're going to go through it all. So you're going to need all testing information, all data testing, the whole 9 yards, everything. But if they come up there and say, well, we don't have any testing. What do you mean you don't have any testing? You have to have testing. How are you selling this without testing? That's literally what's going to come up in court. We make a claim that you have no testing, They're basically going to ask and request it. Your testing. That's what we're going to request. And that's what I do sometimes. I go to court if I know there's a company or somebody hasn't really tested, there's something missing in their testing they should have and don't have, we'll bring it up. That's why I said, then the day, make sure your stuff is tested. Let me see, get this right here. Hey, Mr. Bird, you have tests? Yes, we do. How many boxes do you need? What do you need at the end of the day? Like, what do you need? Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go. Ask me for testing. Asking me for testing. You remember how the smile that the Grinch had when he figured out how to get Whoville? That's what you're gonna turn around and see. Like, oh shoot, you see me smiling like that, John Court? It's lights out. I'm a tester. I test everything. I'll literally go out and buy crazy stuff to put against myself for testing. I built that thing over there, that crazy Halo system over there, just to test myself out to see how much light it can absorb in. Because if I'm going to be making a whole new game, I got to show it actually does exist. It does something that no other screen can do, which I can't wait to play with that thing again today. We got the big one coming in. We're building the big one soon. Yeah, I love testing. I do all that crazy stuff. I like to test my stuff. Got screens I've submerged underwater. Got screens that I've had outside. And matter of fact, it's frozen into blocks of ice. I like to test. All right, take this out right here. This is a new game. So update everything on here. Blah, 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 blah. New game. That's why he's lucky that he didn't sell any of that paint. The other guy he sold, which is a fellow, was trying to brag like he had the paint, but he failed anyway. It's a black screen still in a super dark environment. That's the first red flag that popped up on everybody that I posted it on the forum site. Says, why is he in the dark with a black screen? Yeah, and then people saw the couple of seconds where the screen transfers over and you show where it's gray. So, oh, I see why it's gray. Everybody saw that. So ain't no way you're going to be in the dark. That dark. He was in the room so dark you couldn't even see anything in the environment. That's how dark it was without black technology. But the test, they're going to ask for. They're always going to ask for tests. They always do. And especially if somebody brings it up, which we will bring up. So it's a good thing he didn't really sell that stuff to anybody. Because if someone had taken him to court and they had questioned him on that gain range, he'd been in a lot of trouble. Because they would have asked him, look, we need you to show proof that this actually does exist. Yeah, get in a lot of trouble. If anybody would have bought that stuff. So if he got 30, 40 people, the more people would buy it, the more trouble you get into. Even if it's 2 or 3 people that buy it. And they take him to court and say, look, I don't think this stuff exists. I think what he has on his packaging is fake. You're going to have to back it up if it does exist. Let me see. All right, here. And we're going to prove that. You know why? His website's still up. So that means that since his website's still up, he's still within the statute of limitations of taking his company to court on that particular topic. And I'm taking him to court on gain range. You think I'm joking with that? No, I'm dead serious. I reported his site already. I got hardcore evidence that we've contacted him multiple times. We talked to one of his customers. We asked him. He couldn't give us any information on what it was. It's not real. It's fake. So I'm challenging him in court. They're going to be, we don't have to look for him. They're going to track him down. They're going to start an investigation. When they start an investigation, they put an officer, a field officer, whoever they have that's going to be on that case, or an investigator, whoever they got. It's going to probably most likely an investigator, and he's going to go in and look at the site. He's going to find his account on Squarespace, and he's going to figure out, okay, this is his name, this is his address, this is his credit card, all his information, and they're going to figure out where he lives at. And they're going to send him documents saying, hey, look, you're being challenged in court. Someone feels that your company, which is us, is challenging you because we say gain range is not real. Just like Epstein went in and challenged Valve on that whole 6,000 lumen nonsense. And they got sued over this. So yeah, we're challenging them on gain range. So that's why I told him at the end of the day, you're not going anywhere, buddy. I'm challenging your company. So when we see you in court, you got to go to federal. It's a federal crime. We got to go to court. It's federal. So that means at the end of the day, you're going to have to prove that this is an actual real thing. And we can show videos like, look, this is not the first time he's done this. He did this on some stuff called goopity goo, whatever stuff. And we have canceled receipts when we tried to test it out. And they come up and say, hey, would you try to test the theory? We did. We have canceled receipts. Literally canceled every single order and gave us back our money. So we couldn't test it out. And then the second time around, he removed the entire state of Pennsylvania. We literally have everything on video of it happening. So it shows you're hiding stuff at the end of the day. We contacted a customer over in the UK. We got that recorded, documented. He blocked his messaging. So he's actually selling a product or an ability for a product to do something that it can't do, and he's trying to make money off of it. So we're calling bullcrap on. That's what we're doing in court. We're challenging your company. So you're going to have to go in there. Now, like, again, this is fraud at the end of the day. This is considered to be fraud. And you know what to do when people commit fraud? They go to jail. Companies like Valva have the kind of power and money to keep it out of jail. You don't. They're going to throw the book at him. He doesn't have it. They're going to find the daylights at him, and we're going to sue you in the process. So if you think you're getting out scot-free, heck no, you're not getting out scot-free. I'm challenging your company. Have me sign a contract and walk into court with you for $500,000 about gain range. Guarantee you won't. That's because it don't work. So like I said, I'm challenging your company in court. Gain range is not true. I've been asking you over and over again. I would love to see that. You know how freaking groundbreaking that would be? That you paint a screen in a different direction, it basically changes the game. Yeah, he's gonna have to back that up. So we can't get him and talk to him and get it. We'll just basically contact Federal Trade Commission, and we'll go from there. And I'm challenging you, man. And you can sit there and say, it has nothing to do with hatred. There's no hatred at the end of the day. You guys put that in there because that's the only thing you can accept. No, I'm calling your gain range crap. It's not real. So yeah, I've already been in documents and talked to people. At the end of the day, I'm challenging your company. And they'll have it on court document. That's the beautiful thing. It'll be on court document that he could not prove gain range. It'll be forever frozen for a public record for everyone to read that he basically lost in court because he could not prove that this gain range was true. Unless you're going to basically go run and make your website disappear, much like the other one did. But that's not going to help you either. It's there, it's there. So in his is pride. So he can't make the website disappear. You know why? It's pride. That's why. It's going to stay there. And it's going to stay there for us to go in and get this whole report and everything done. He's going to go into court. And he's going to prove to a judge that this is an actual real thing. If he doesn't, and it's just PayPal shopping carts, he was taking money. It shows that the product did sell. Somebody did buy it in the UK, which is a potential customer. And we asked the customer, we got nothing back from him. We talked to him several times. We got nothing back. We sent emails through. We sent messages to his website, everything, and nothing back. We tried to buy the product to bring it over for testing to see if it was actually a real thing. We got our orders were canceled multiple times. So this is what led us to court. So simple and plain. He's just going to have to prove it exists. So get ready for that philosophy. You're going to need it. Let me see. That's the whole purpose of why they have these laws in place, so people can't go in and make things up as they go along. Because if people were doing that and they were making things up as they go along, you know how much trouble this would be? Imagine you getting your asthma inhaler medicine, and the person who you're buying from lied about that. or heart medicine, anything. It can be anything that basically can cause some real serious damage if people didn't tell the truth about their products. What about the gas line that connects to your house? Stuff like that. You would want somebody at the end of the day, especially if a person who's installing this in, to be certified and know what they're doing and not lie about this. Because this can mean catastrophic damage. So again, it's very important. For some people sitting there and go, oh, that's not important. It is important. It is. It's very important. You don't lie on your specification sheets. You don't make things up as you go along and charge people money for it. So he's going to have to back this up. If he can't back this up, then he's going to be penalized for it. And they're very serious about basically companies who do this, because they run into companies all the time who go out and make these false accusations about their products and they're not real. Just like Valva. Valva charged all those people for that projector. They made these false accusations that they were doing 6,000 lumens. The first time I saw that projector fire up, I was like, oh, no, there's no way in the world that's 6,000 lumens. That's virtually impossible. It was way too dim. Do you have to deal with 6,000? The thing about it is most people don't even know what 6,000 lumens look like. Because again, they've just never been around a 6,000 lumen projector. I have been around a 6,000 lumen projector. There is no way in the world that was 6,000. And then ultra short though, 6,000 long throw will light an area up quick. You're talking about ultra short though. You're right up on top of the screen at 6,000. You'll have so much light splashing back at shit off a white wall. You won't even need lights in that environment anymore. All right, this one's for this one. We copied the whole thing. That's done right there. Let's put in here the abbreviation for 16.9 for that. Yeah, you would never. It'd be way too bright. Way too bright. That thing would back hit that wall that's white. Gee whiz Louise. You're like, oh my goodness, man. I feel like my retinas are on fire. That'd be very uncomfortable to watch. So no, that is not happening. That's 6,000. Do they make projectors like that? I mean, you can get an ultra short throw and venue and all that stuff at the end of the day, but mind you, that's done for commercial use. Why would you need a 6,000 ultra short throw projector for to begin with? That's insanity. That doesn't even make any. That's why they call crap on their projector. Because again, who the freak is using a projector at 6,000 lumens at a foot away from the screen? How much light reflects off of that? Especially if you have a screen that's not even designed to absorb. You got a black screen, you could absorb that easy. But you're talking about a white and, oh, good gracious, man. I feel sorry for if you ever hit and get that rainbow effect kicks off, man. You're going to be one sick dude. That rainbow, if you've never witnessed a DLP rainbow effect, yeah, you don't even know, man. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your entire. At one point, you think you're hallucinating, but you're not. It's like a bunch of, it's like something like when you watch Lucky Charms and he's running, his rainbows moving behind, it looks like that. But it's weird because it's your eyes, you're seeing this. It's freaky, man. It's like being in VR, but you're not in VR. That's what it's like. I had it happen one time. It knocked me out of a chair one time. I was sitting there and I was on a DLP projector and I watched it move across the screen. I thought I was losing my vision for a minute. And it wasn't. I hit the ground, hit spins, you get dizzy and everything. Never want to go through that one ever again as long as I freaking live. But at least I can say at the end of the day, I had experienced it. I know what it's like to go through a rainbow effect. And people get to go through them all the time. It was DLP projectors that were known for triggering them. They were known for triggering the rainbow effect. And it's because DLP projectors are bright. They're brighter. I don't know. There we go. Laser's pretty bright. Laser's super bright. I had a Casio. I don't know. There we go. Laser's pretty bright. Laser's super bright. I had a Casio projector, laser hybrid projector, but it had a DLP paste. But DLP projectors are brighter than your LCDs. LEDs, on the other hand, you find LEDs mostly on cheap knockoff machines. You notice that if you look at the cheap knockoff projectors, most of those would be LED projectors. Unless you got something where you have like a DLP and LED hybrid with I'm trying to think of how it, DPL base, LED LED, and laser, they make them. That's the Casio. They're hybrids because they have multiple different settings for their lamp setup. But the main lamp is, the base is DLP, but the main lamp is LED and laser. Where if you're dealing with some projectors, they just have DLP. DLP are the ones that the DLPs were the ones who were having the rainbow effect because they're super bright. That's why they're brighter, much brighter than the LCDs. Now this projector is an LCD projector, Chrissy. It's not a DLP. The ultra short though I have sitting on the floor over here is a DLP, and the one over here that I use in the demonstration is an LCD. You gotta know your stuff. And then you have laser, which I still don't trust to this day. I don't trust laser. I never had a bad experience with a laser. I don't know how they do them today. I wouldn't dare buy a long throw laser if my life depended on it. No one feels like getting blinded by a Death Star, because I've done that one already. Ultra short throw laser projectors, I'm pretty sure there's a kill switch, hopefully, to kill the laser. But I do know for a fact that the Casio projectors, when they first came out, and that's the thing about it, if you're buying a projector from one of these individuals, what can they tell you about the Casio projector, that the do's and don'ts of that machine? Put it this way, the 235.1 option that comes in the ViewSonic, any of them tell you about that? No, we were the ones that told you about the 235. I told you, they don't know their machines. They probably haven't half the time been in half of their menus correctly. But anyway, the Casio projector is a very dangerous projector. The newer one's probably much better, but the older ones were extremely dangerous because if you look at the Casio projectors, they had like a silver kind of coating on the lens cap. There's a reason why that silver is there. Laser is always active. Even if you turn it off, you got to unplug those things because the laser is always active. So even if you have it off, that laser is still coming out of the chamber. That's what the silver's for. When you put the cap on, the laser comes out of the chamber, hits that silver cap, comes back into the chamber. It's a back and forth process that's going on inside your projector, even when you have it off. Another thing too is when you turn it on, do not stick your head over the side of the laser projector as you're pulling off the cap. Because when you pull it off the cap on an angle, guess where the laser goes at? Well, it can go up and hit you in the face. It can go in another direction, hit somebody in the face. So you have to turn your head to the side and pull the cap off, or either turn it on. Don't be in front of this thing walking around. Because it's a laser. Literally, you'll get hit with this and it'll mess up your vision. So I learned the hard way because I had a Casio hybrid projector. I turned it off because I figured it was off. The laser shut off, and I had the cap on the ground. I walked upstairs and make a phone call, came downstairs, and it felt like somebody took one of those old-fashioned timey cameras, and the flash that goes off in your face, that's what went off in my face. And I had these little white spots for at least about an hour or so all over the place. At one point, it was pretty bad because I couldn't see a little bit. Things got a little blurry. But as my vision started to come back, I started seeing little white spots. Never doing that ever again. So then I realized what triggered it. When I walked over to the projector, the laser was active. Even though it was off in standby mode, it was still active. That's why if you see those projectors on eBay and they don't have the lens cap with them, don't buy them. Because they're very dangerous. These are the older ones. So they did make a series of these projectors. They made the smaller one that I had. They had a thin version, and they had the little ultra short throw kind of a big boy. None of them have that. With the ultra short, the big boy doesn't have a cap. So I don't know how the freak that works at the end of the day. Yeah, they have to have kill switches or something on it at the end of the day, because laser can mess you up. And ever since that experience, I don't like laser projectors. I don't trust them. So yeah, you live and learn. Live and learn. With the DLP rainbow effect, if you never experienced one of them, man, it's messed up. And when you do recover, you come out of it, you're dizzy, you're sick. It's like the equivalence of being on a teacup after having Thanksgiving dinner. That's what it feels like. You know, spinning teacups and spinning around, you feel like you're about to throw up. It's like eating a full Thanksgiving dinner to the point where you're super stuffed, and then you get on the teacups. That's literally what it feels like. You feel like you have to throw up every 5 minutes. You feel like you got to Earl. It's bad. So when it happened to me, I didn't know what happened. I thought for a minute I was losing my vision, or maybe I was having a tumor or something was going on. I didn't know what it was. So when I came out of it and I finally went down to see my buddy, I was like, yo, Matt, taking aspirin. I was messed up. I was like, I was watching something and I watched these colors just splash across my screen, and I thought I was about to black out. He said, oh, you witnessed rainbow effect. Yeah, black screens don't have that issue ever. I've never seen it again since we've been developing darker technology. It's the lighter screens that trigger off rainbow effect. All right, done here. Got the copy of this. This is in here. Let's lock all this in here. That's done. Everything's up and done in there. I need to save on this. So this is already in here. I know we didn't hit that 8,000. Nope, but we missed it. Good, great. Now let's see. That's the gallon. Where's the gallon? That's the gallon. Did I put my pictures in? Oh, mother freaking cherries ghost. Did we put pictures in? No, we didn't. These are the old pictures. We can have these in here. It's gotta go. Gotta put my new stuff in there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, get that out of here. Get my new pictures in here. Upload. Grab you over here. Where's my new folder? Let's put a new folder in this for this. I don't have to go track stuff down. Okay. Pictures under the gunmetal. I want to test one of these outer boxes. They said they make an underwater case. I'm curious, is this true? If they do, I'm gonna buy. If I get one, I'm buying me a cheap knockoff projector and stick it in there and see what happens. But wait a minute. If it's an underwater case, how the frick are you running power? I would scare the crap out of me. I literally would. That would scare the crap out of me. I don't care how secluded it is. I would rather use one of these instead. I would use one of these any day because again, it's a chargeable unit. Because there's no power going in. Yeah, I would do that. I would drop a battery in there, like a dry cell battery in there, and put one of them and test it out. Because I'm curious if this thing actually works. I'm gonna buy one. It's supposed to be a box, a case that you can put for projectors. You can drop submerged underwater. It's for basically not for watching movies, so to speak. It's for people doing like special effects and stuff like that. And that's where our screens come in because we got submersible technology. So that would be great for testing. So if this thing actually does work. Or, better yet, if we could build our own, which would be actually much more better, because I mean, if to buy anybody else's, we can make our own, which that would be interesting. To make our own case. So we don't have to buy anybody else's, we can make our own. Where are you? I'll put you in here. Here we are. I'm not got you in there. But there's a line. Gunmetal. Alright, so the silver platinum is going to be a bit of a starter kit. So it's going to come with a screen and LED lights. We always do that with the starters. They come with LED lights and a screen. 100-inch screen, and they come with LED lights. Those are the starters. Those are the platinum silver. Those are considered to be our white screens. Alright, cool. All that's loaded in. We're completed. Upload's done. Let's go in it, and we need to add. I'm adding this one first. First bottom, yeah. And this is the gunmetal technology with halo system attached. Put my pictures, because that's the way I like to do it. Drop these in. Kaboom. Man, I've seen everything, man. I had people steal my pictures, steal my specification sheet, try to make claim that we have our products, steal my labels. Sheesh, man. You know, it's funny. Why would you steal the labels of somebody that's supposed to be a scammer? I find that funny. That's my any form site, they laugh about that because they go say, you know, your labels are over there. These guys are copying your specification sheets. Everybody sees it. So if you're such a this, that, and the other, why are they stealing your stuff at the end of the day? Yeah, because that stuff works. And the only way, and this is what I find interesting, the only way that they can get any kind of credibility, they have to go through us to do it. So if you can take down one of my technologies, that gets your paint a lot of clout at the end of the day. But that's interesting because we're supposed to be fakes. So how can a person that's supposed to be fake and a liar have a product that everybody wants to try to take down to be able to get that level that we're on? Doesn't that sound kind of weird, doesn't it? Well, I'm not worried about that. We'll be going to court pretty soon in front of a judge. We'll get all that straightened out in front of the judge. You can vent all your beliefs and whatever right in front of him or her. We'll go from there. Is that all? We got another one? What? Right, let me send you more pictures. We got another one. We'll grab this here. That's all. Just simple and plain. We just go for a judge and the judge figure it out. Did we put all of them on here? No, we're missing one. I think we're missing one in that upload. I think we're going to be able to add more pictures, but we got more pictures. That'd be a nice little thing. Add more room for more pictures. I could put 30 pictures on here. It'd be nice if we could do that. I got other stuff I want to show off. That's what I like about the shorts, because before we do a video, we had to do one video on this, one video on that, one video on that. We can literally do a promo demonstration. We're showing our different forms of screens, because we can slice them all up and put music underneath of them. That is freaking amazing. I'm so happy that they went in and did that. This makes it so much easier for me. Let me see. Boom. Yeah, we had enough for all of them. They're all in there. Yeah, transfer over to the new page. Welcome to the new page, my friend. And you are now branded with the new technology gain, which allows you to absorb. We already had it on there. If you notice, you look at the screens, absorb tons of light. These are all LED lights, high-powered LED lights. Same way over there, sitting on this screen. So it has that power. This is the gunmetal technology. Everything's on there. Yep, everything's on there. Good to go. Good to go. Good to go. Now these are not available overseas, but the other one will be. All right. Let's save it. All right, so it's 1 gallon. Where is the other one at? It's supposed to be a 32 ounce in here somewhere. That's a 32 ounce. Ah, crap. Did you copy the whole page? The whole thing? Did you copy everything? Yeah, we did. Boom. Okay, it's in there. Goody goody gumdrops. Gumdrops and all that goody good stuff. It's all in here. Clean up. Bump, bump, bump. Now, as I said before, these are being designed to be giant, massive business cards. Because, again, I'm going to be doing a lot of business. All my brochures, everything we have, everything will have that website attached to it. Everything. It'll be advertised on all our bags, jackets, hats, hoodies, you name it. Mouse pads, cups, the 9 yards. It'll be splattered across everything. So we'll be advertising on here and out there at the same time. I even have a couple of trucks coming up pretty soon next year. I'll tell you next year, we're going to have our company's logo and our freaking screens on them. Hey, Pumpkin Bear, what you doing right there? And everywhere I go, I'm going to have special brochures to educate people on shopping online and what to look for. See, that's why I said at the end of the day, with the technology that we're engineering and the place that we're going, it's not good to be on our bad side at the end of the day. Because we have a voice and a platform at the end of the day that's going to take us anywhere we need to go. Because our technology makes us stand out above everybody else's. That's not the person that you basically want to be fighting with at the end of the day. Batch number verification is needed, and that's what we're going to push. I got special brochures going on educating customers about batch number verifications and what to look for when you go online. Which means since we're the only ones that have batch numbers, guess who they're going to go to? That will push everybody else to do batch numbers also, which you should. Free worldwide shipping on this one. Just have to tell the truth about your product. That's all it comes down to. No one's saying you have to match us. You don't. That would be impossible. All you have to do is tell the truth about your product. Don't lie about your product. And this will cut down on all that gain range and all that other dumb nonsense you read on people's websites. At the end of the day, they literally can't. Oh, like that whole freaking Frankenstein mix, which again, he's going to be in trouble for that because he doesn't have permission to use that name. But anyway, saying it's not best to be used in home use. All the demonstrations we saw were in home. Just lying about stuff to beef up stuff to make it sound like it's really technical and you really can't use it for this because it's really made for that. But you're not giving any explanation on why you can't use it. Why can't you use it? What happens if you use it in the home use? What's going to be the repercussion that's going to happen if you use it in the home use? That's the kind of information you have to have out there. You can't just make stuff off the top of your head and say, hey, you can't use it for this because this such and so is going to happen. Why is this going to happen? Got to show that. You can't just make stuff as you go along. Free worldwide. Free world. Shipping. And we tell you can't paint on a polyester tarp. There's a reason why you can't paint on a polyester. I have a video showing you why you can't do it. Because it'll damage the screen. Paint won't stay to it. Doesn't gravitate to a polyester tarp. We have a special coating for that does that. But that particular paint won't do it. All right. What do we have for screen size? Is there a screen size on here? Any things? If we do, let's see. All right, 32 ounces. Screen size should be make sure we don't have it down here anywhere. All right, this is perfect. That's done. Let me see. Take these pictures out. They don't belong here. This is for the old gunmetal. There was just too much stuff going on. The blackout cloth material. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. You know, when you're showing off a blackout cloth material, you can't put a motorized projection screen up there. It's virtually impossible. Then you're giving out false information that someone has a 150-inch blackout cloth surface, and you're showing a motorized projection screen and what it was used for. You could damage someone's motorized screen that way. If they try to feed that screen up there, they damage the motor. It's only designed to fit a certain size thickness of PVC material in that motorized screen. And I saw someone do this. I saw somebody on their website go in and claim to have a black and white acoustic surface, steal our specification sheets to begin with, to try to sell this product. That makes it even sadder because they couldn't even make up their own specification sheet. And then put a motorized projection screen as one of the pictures of this product being used with, which was a complete lie. So if anybody else would have saw that, because I've seen that picture in another video, if somebody else would have saw that, and I get this all the time, I get customers that'll contact me and say, hey, look, you know, I'm thinking about, instead of painting, just taking the blackout cloth material and fitting it underneath my motorized projection screen so it'll roll up and it'll fit. And I'm like, don't do that. If you do that, you're going to damage the motor. You're going to jam the motor. You're not going to be able to get it to unroll because that surface is made just right for that motor or whatever they had to feed up into that machine, and you'll damage it. And I've gotten this multiple times from customers. So we literally had to put policies down and say, do not stick this in a motorized projection screen. Because, you know, people, you know, it's not saying at the end of the day, they're just curious if it would work, you know. And it probably would have struck me a few times, like, yeah, can you do that? But you can't, you'll damage it. That's why it will happen. So, we put that policy up there because nobody's destroying the motorized projection screen. But when you take a a surface that's a black alcohol material, and you have pictures on your marketplace where you're selling it showing a motorized projection screen, you have already given people false information that they can literally use this to be able to fix or to apply a black alcohol material to their screen. And you'll damage someone's screen that way. That thing will get jammed up in there, and basically if it's going to burn out the motor, that's one thing that could happen. Or if it does feed the whole thing in there, you're not getting it back out, because when it pulls out, it's going to be bunched up coming out. It's not going to really, even if you try to basically glue it down, it's going to have wrinkles, and it's going to be all kinds of problems. You're going to jam your motor, you're going to damage it. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be out, and it's going to cost you a lot of money to replace that. God forbid if it's a name brand motorized projection screen, this is going to cost you a lot of money. You're going to have to go in and replace the entire thing. And guess what that means? That means you could file a lawsuit against the person who gave that information, which means when they drag them into court, they're going to ask them, why would you actually put that out there if you knew there was a high possibility it could damage it? Do you have any proof, any testing that this would actually work? There you go. See, the thing about it is their websites set them up for serious lawsuits. Because you got to back that stuff up. If any one of those customers would have came in and challenged them, they would have been in a lot of trouble. Any one of them would have came in and challenged them. That house paint and screen paint he made that matched house paint, someone could have challenged him in court on that. They could have taken him to court and said, hey, I believe that the product that I bought from him was house paint. He made it seem like it was something much higher than house paint. It was better than house paint. It was a different product. You're going to have to prove that your product shows different. Now, I might not have been the only one that have been contacting him about this paint. There are other people that were contacting him about his screen paints and how that they weren't working correctly. There's a number of reasons why that website disappeared. Because things were catching up, that's why. Let me see. Okay. This is all in here. You got it at 32. All the information here. We got shipping for overseas, so that's good. All the demos are linking. They're all linking. I'm linking. Everything's linking, so that's good. This is the 32, so everything's linking in here. That's good. All right, that's good. It's already updated. Let me see at the bottom. Oh, price is not there. That price is not there. All right, and the silver, at the silver I'm going to be working on. Silver, what we have here, let me see. Okay, free worldwide shipping. What's that silver? This is our new platinum Black Widow technology we're working on. Let's see, free worldwide shipping. And this is going to come with, I'll just make it a kit. Let me see. 180-inch Black Widow kit. KIT and be the kit. And this is going to come with a, let's see, the lights. 16 feet. Oh, we over here, 16 feet. These are 50-ounce containers, so different containers for these. Let me see, 16 feet. 16 feet. Free lead light, 16 feet, and free 100 inch 16.9 paint on blackout cloth. So blackout cloth is a projection screen that allows you to paint on it like a fabric or material. It comes free surface, so you have free light. So we always like to make these kits. Your blackout cloth. Free blackout cloth. Okay. So it comes with a kit. Let's see, 50 ounces. This paint is also, let me see, works with ultra short though. All our stuff works with ultra short throw, so even with lights hidden, it works with ultra short throw. Free 50 ounce. Free, no, sorry, 50 ounces. Let's see what kit comes with. For shipping, keep that separate. All right. Comes with. I had so many people that were contacting me that were scared about those new laws that were put in. I told you they weren't going to last long. Can't do that. You know, gotta know your rights at the end of the day. If you learn it, so I'm a history major, man. I study that stuff, man. And all that stuff about laws and all that thing and everything. Yeah, you can't go do that stuff at the end of the day. If not, we would have dictators and kings rule on us at the end of the day. You can't do that. For policies, you can't do. He's looking at lawsuits coming this way now for that mess. You can't do that. So many people are like, oh no, but he can't do that. He can't. He can't do that. If that was the case, man, he had so many different presidents that came through on so many different weird policies. All of them things would have been already in effect. You can't do that. It's literally against the law. He broke the law when he did that. So now he's got problems. I tell you, it's a good reason and a bad reason it happened. The good reason is, at least the people who voted for him, now I got an understanding of what we were telling them for the longest time, that he was not a good president. They've got a good understanding now. That you thought he was for you, and you only, and he's not for you at all, period. And it exposes him on another level. It's brought even more trouble to him at the end of the day. You see his press secretary, how she messed up. She sent out a tweet. Yeah. See, that's why I said, people who at the end of the day are bent on doing evil things and bad things. This is God's world at the end of the day. You have no control in this world as you think you do. You have power. You have no power. You will be outed and exposed for all to see. And that's what just happened to him. He got exposed on so many levels. It's not even funny. Even to the people who supported him, he got exposed. They know exactly what he is now. And his press secretary that was up there doing all that lying for him, even she stumbled and fell because she sat there and sent out a tweet that got her a lot of trouble, got him in even more trouble, and got a restraining order placed against him. So yeah, it ain't going well for him at all, period. Impeachment's definitely going to be coming up. They're definitely going to impeach him. So yeah, it's just, and they impeach him, there's other stuff they're going to pop. Because mind, they're suing him. He's just not going to have that protection anymore. And then one of the most fascinating things I think I've seen him done in office. I'm gonna say that I give him this one right here. I'm not a big fan of Trump and never will be. He's going to send Elon Musk in outer space. I can't wait to see this. I mean, this is going to be so much entertaining. It's not even funny. I would love to see him in outer space. He doesn't want to go. He is scared to death. But he blasted him. It's all over the internet that he is advising him, like, you want to be his right-hand man and you want to be this and that and the other, you know what I mean? You're in your weird stuff at the end of the day. You want to be this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you got what you bit off and chewed at the end of the day. He told him he's going to have to go up there with those astronauts to get the other astronauts, which is not, it's a sad thing, they're stranded up there. To get them, he's going up there. He is going up there. Not a representative. He is going up there. Oh, that is going to be entertaining to watch. I hope they get the astronauts home safely. I do. But to see him being strapped up and going through that gravitation pull, you know, they got to go through that freaking gravitation pull. It's freaking, I heard it's crazy. And he's not a young man either. He's not even trained for it. That's the crazy thing about it. You have to train for that stuff. And I don't think he has an understanding. At the end of the day, he's going to send. He's not trained to be up there. They're going to send him up there. But then again, you think about it. No. They still had to go through a training course. They still had to go to a training course. People that were paying money to go into outer space. He had to pay him it was like $15 million, something really crazy. So these people had extra money laying around. They were going to outer space. They had to go through a training program. This is going to be hilarious. Well, get a taste of your own money. You know, you wanted to be hanging around these people at the end of the day, and these people are loose cannons, and you thought at the end of the day you can control these. That's what he thought. He thought you can control the loose cannons. That's what he thought he could do. No. They gonna send him in outer space. Look it up. Yeah, I can't wait to see this, man. I will literally fly out to Florida, wherever we're gonna have this launch at, and watch this thing. I'm definitely gonna be there. Because, man, he didn't see that one coming. He is scared to death. When you built it, and you trust it, and you go out in it. She was Louise. But anyway, I'll move on. I got things to do. Let's see, 50 ounce of our... And now the internet is, man, you mentioned something like that, that is going to be plastered everywhere. And he ordered him. He didn't say ask him, he ordered him to go up in outer space and rescue the whatchamacallit, the astronauts. You're probably thinking, what in the world have I gotten myself into? I am not trained for this. Oh well. Let's see, kit comes with 50 ounces of the Platinum Black Widow, free LED lights 16 feet, free 169 paint on blackout cloth, projection screen. Now we send the projection screen surface has to be a little bit larger than the size, because you have enough to wrap around the frame. If we make it exactly 100 inches, anything you wrap around the frame is going to take away from the viewing angle of 100. So it has to be a little bit larger. So most likely be like 104, 103. That's how you have to make them. Close surface right there, okay. This is all perfect. Wait, it's up here. Yeah, but you that. Man, this is spin like I'm going where? That's a huge jump. Yeah, you're definitely leaving the marble. Shoot, Captain Kirk did it. He went up there in outer space. Yeah, William Shatner. William Shatner went up there, he did it. He went right there in outer space. Yep, came back and everything. So, he can do it. You're going to have to put him in. He has to go through that. I don't know if they have to train him. They have to go through some kind of training. So have to go through a training course. But that training course is brutal. Or it can be pretty brutal. Right, let me see. Alright, that's good. Everything in there. It's the kit for the platinum silver right there. Right there. Alright. This is going to have a test for a light system on it. So we don't have to keep painting over the spot over and over again. We're going to do the panels. The panels are easier because the panels we can just slap in there and they have the lighting system around it, which will make it so much easier when we change the panels at will. The frame is going to be built. So what you're seeing right there, it's going to be the frame, but I do want to slap a panel in there. As a matter of fact, let me get my one right now. Well, you chasing around, Gilligan boy. Gilligan boy. Gilligan boy. We got a surface on here. It's a surface. Excuse me, it's a Gilligan boy. Gilligan boy. Just call me Gilligan boy. Gilligan boy. Oh man, that fits perfectly. That would be perfect. See, that would fit perfectly. We could really test them. Okay. All right, two of these together. It should be here and here. And the two together here and there. All right, that works perfect. That gives me an idea of what I want to do. That'll make it easier, because then that way that'll give me a chance to test multiple surfaces without even basically without keep repainting the background of it. We can paint the panels whatever coating we want and stick that into the halo system, and that will allow us to see if it's going to operate with that much light making contact with the screen. Then we can have multiple surfaces. We're going to have 8 or 9 surfaces, these little panels that are coated with their technology to see how it will react inside that halo system. This is a fantastic idea. This makes things so much easier. All right, I'm happy. I got to start working on that project too on top of that. All right, so I definitely want to test this in the halo system because this has the ILEG technology on it. Oh, let me get some of my whatchamacallits on here too. My ILEG logos on here. This one here. Definitely want to put that there. And let's save that here. Perfect. So that's all ready to go. Everything in there is good to go. We have, let me see. This is published. Get ready to go. So yeah, I was able to go into the Chriswood site, transfer the gunmetal here, and then basically load up all the specifications, change over the IDE. This already had technology with these high-powered lights on top of it, and then start the new kit we have over here with the comes with the 100-inch surface, 16 feet of lights. It's right there. Free wall washing. Okay, everything's looking nice on here. Perfect. This is going to be, we're going to have a kiosk unit. So right now with PayPal, I am getting the Apple Pay, all that. I'm eligible for all that. So I'm getting all that taken care of. So when we're out there and we got our whole setup, people can pay us from out there too. These are black versus black demonstrations on here. We just loaded up our new ones on there. I got more, but I'm actually going to build me a page for all black, all our tests. I got somebody coming to do that for us. He's going to take build a website with all our testing on it. So that way, if we ever have something where we have to come in court, we can drop an entire website of testing. There we go. Instead of picking out which videos and so we have in category. This for ambient light, this for ultra short throw, this for testing on black versus blacks, this is testing on other screens. We want everything category for that. Makes it much easier, especially when you got to walk in court or basically when you're backing yourself up with other companies that want to see this stuff. Because we get this asked all the time. Anytime it comes with black paint, anytime. The first thing that comes up is, how do I know this stuff is not going to match black paint? This is why we have all these demonstrations done on black paint. That's what everything we design to make. Fabrics, films, paints. We actually made several screen paint, black paints ourselves to put against our own products. Fabric, because at one point we were giving away a black fabric. And people thought that the black fabric would do the same thing. You know, did that one too. That's where we made more black paint against our products. This right here is AdTech. That's AdTech right there. AdTech was already tested before we even got it out the door. That's GTV technology. This right here is black on black. This is Quasar. Quasar's had these tests too. Someone's being challenged in court on the Quasar, by the way. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? I'm gonna mention his name. Jamie. You see this right here? These are tests on Quasars. Quasars don't match black paint. So if you get this wrong in court, you're gonna be over. We're gonna be way over past a $5 million mark, just so you know. So you know that from the door. Yeah, Quasars were tested. All our stuff is tested. I can repeat that in court multiple times. So if that paint in any of the video demonstrations comes up looking unwatchable, and I got customers who have that product, we're going to bring in our customers' results, we're going to bring in our test results, we're going to bring in our black versus black test, and I'm going to have you paint that screen in the courtroom. This is going to cost you way over $5 million. So all our stuff is tested. This is the new stuff we have right here. This stuff is all tested. So yeah. So I already have people on his account right now gathering all his stuff. They've been on there for the last couple months gathering on him. So like I said, I got to go back to the CCB today and file another lawsuit against him for we did one already for the Crystal Edge, but there's previous ones he's done after that. More of the ones he's done, they're being filed too. We got so much stuff on him. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of lawsuits. It's gonna be a lot of lawsuits. And I think right now he feels, I don't understand how anybody can be so thick-headed like him. Like literally, you had a processor. We had sent someone to his door. If I sent someone to your door, what are the odds of me sending another person to your door? I think the odds would be much greater, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. His brain doesn't function on that level. He just thinks it's not going to happen. Unless he's in denial, right, would it be? Now see, if no one ever came to your door, ever. It never came to your door. And I made this statement right now. Then you would have terms of believable. Well, I haven't seen anybody come to the door yet. You can't say that because we did have somebody come to your front door and serve you for court. The problem in your brain at the end of the day, you're thinking that because you didn't go to court, that there was no evidence. No, that's why the process server was there. Go get a lawyer or contact a lawyer and tell him exactly what happened to you and ask, did he have enough evidence? A lawyer is going to say, yes, that's why the process server was there. Process server can only show up unless there's enough evidence and you get the okay from the courts to come see you because there's enough evidence to bring it to court. That's why I said he is not. I can't wait to go to court with this guy and hear him say, well, you know, he didn't have enough evidence. That judge is going to look at him and say, I'm like, here we go. Here we go. Listen to this right here. It's going to put you on blast. Like, what are you living at the end of the day? That's why the process server is there. When you get a warrant for your arrest, right? And they come to your house, you know why they're there? Because they basically have enough evidence to convict you in court. And that's why there's an officer there to arrest you for the crime that you did. That's what that means. If no officer shows up and there's not enough evidence, they can't get issued a warrant from a judge. With that being said, welcome to the reality of the real world. So if a process server shows up at your front door, a repo guy shows up at your front door, repossession, whatever, at the end of the day, they have the paperwork to either take your vehicle, take your stuff, or take you and throw you in jail because there's enough evidence there to prosecute, to bring you to court. Gee whiz Louise, he does not understand the terms of a process server. I literally had to sit there and explain it to a grown man who has been on this earth for just almost as long as I had. And I literally had to sit there and explain that to him. I'm thinking, is he slow? It just crosses your mind. How do you not know this? This is basic ABC. Good gracious. I hope he knows that if you race fast enough, you go past the speed limit, you can get tickets for that. Or basically, if you cross the street when the light is red, you can be hit by a car. I hope he knows these things. Gee whiz. Some people are just something out. He'll figure it out. We get the court in front of a judge. He'll figure it out. I got to go file for the other one today. And get that done, get that all taken care of, and move on from there, get to the next one. Oh, my goodness. I already had a conversation with him on his whatchamacallit about that. I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy. Yeah, don't show up. Don't think it don't exist. Please don't. You're still gonna lose the case. Don't show up. Don't even bother showing up at all. If you think it's just going to go away like that, close your eyes real tight, wish upon a star, it's just going to go away, nothing's going to happen, go ahead, do it. I don't care. You don't show up, they're still gonna take your stuff. Man, everybody knows those rules, how that works. If somebody comes to your house with a bench warrant, they're not coming to sing happy birthday to you. They're there to arrest you because there's enough evidence. If there's not enough evidence, you see officers go through this. If there's not enough evidence, they're being told that we can't file this because he runs the risk of walking out of a courtroom and we can't get him. You've seen this in cop shows all the time. Get me something that will stick, that we can get a warrant for his arrest. Till then, we arrest him right now. We don't have enough to keep him in court. We have enough. It's a waste of everybody's time. So they got to go out and they got to gather and do this investigation and figure out enough evidence to get something solid enough that will stick in court so they can have what they need to go issue the warrant for the arrest. Until then, they can't do jack. But on the other hand, we have that. That's why I had to go through a review process when I had to fill out the application, because that's what you have to go through, this multi-process review, because they have to make sure that they're not hunting people down that are not supposed to be hunted down. We have to submit all that in. Then they ask us for our copyrights, because it tells them that if your copyrights are not real, if they're not registered, then you don't have a case. So we send all that in, and they go back and they send it back and do the research and come back and says, hey, the copyrights are real. Okay, that's stage one taken care of. Now, what proof that you had this guy violated your copyrights? Put all that information in, you look at it and go, okay, yeah, clearly we see you violated the copyright, so and so and so. The next stage you have to go through. Then they basically go through the review board, goes to another review board, and then they come back and say, okay, you have enough to prosecute, you have enough evidence for court. We have to go through and do something with admin and some other, not admin, but some kind of something you have to do with the files and whatever you have to do. You have to submit them to these particular branches, and then once all that's done, you get all that back. Then they say that you have to pick out your process server, which I thought they had did the process server, and we had to do it. So then I had to go to in California, find a process server, which we found one. And then I had to submit those documents over to him from the courts that they gave us over to him. And he's going to fill all that out onto the form and then send us back our copy. And then with his address, he's going to go to his address. And he's going to go serve him and give him the document. He can give it to his hand or he can post it to the door. Since his wife wouldn't take it, they posted it to the door. That's what they did. He snaps a picture of that, sends it back to us with his ID number attached to it and documents emailed to us, and we take that information and we submit it back to the CCB, which means that he was served. And they start getting ready to get the court date ready, and then he'll get another notice in the mail that will tell him that he's being sued and to fight his claim, and he has to show up for court. That's how it works. Whew. Pretty much how it works. And that's it. When you show up, you have to prove that we gave you full permission to use the copyrights, to take our copyrights and slander them and write all over them and, you know, do all the stuff you've been doing. And then we got recording of us having conversations with you on your site that you got rid of that shows you saying that you'll do whatever you want to do, they belong to you, so and so. So we have all that evidence against you. And again, you don't have any permission from us, and it clearly shows you did violate our copyrights. And what they're going to do is they're going to basically come back and say, well, you know, we're going to win in the favor of Mr. Bird, and you're going to be ordered to pay him $30,000. Once that judgment goes through, it goes right there on the spot. They have a little document we get. We take that document. We go to where we have to execute judgment. We go pay out our money for it, and we get a debtor. And we go pay them and say, look, this is my judgment. This is the person we have the judgment against. We want to collect right away. And give us our filing fee, where we pay for, get that done, and then it's already set. They contact someone in California, and in California, a debt collector comes over to your house with sheriff department just so they don't get harmed or anything happens to them, and they start removing or taking things from you that equal up to what we sued you for. If you don't have all of it there, then what's going to do it is they're going to basically tell you that this is how much you owe, and there's going to be interest on this. This is going to collect interest. So you can make a payment arrangement or whatever. That's what you'll have to do. Or basically, Yeah, he's going to make payment arrangements. They're still going to garnish his check, just so you know, because that's part of the lawsuit. That's part of the debt collectors. He can garnish your income tax. He can garnish your pay wages. So if you think at the end of the day you're going to spend your money real fast and that way you can't touch it, no, no, no. They take it out. They contact your payroll or bank or whatever, and they take it out right from there. So you'll notice some money missing off your account. It'll say the debt collector who was involved, who we hired, and what he took out of you, which I think is 25% we get. Because they get paid too. They take a percentage, and we get a percentage. That's why we hire them. So that's how that's going to work. So then he gets an understanding how that functions and works. When the second one comes out, there's another one coming out. The one for the defamation involving court. That could involve criminal charges. Depends on the judge. If they see the court cases and the different documents that we have, we either file with the Allentown Police Department, problems we were having with them, they can automatically issue a warrant. It could and could not, may not happen, but we do know a lawsuit will go through at 175,000. If he shows you they want to show up, same process, same thing. Then another lawsuit comes through the CCB. This is involving copyrights again, and then the rest of them hit up in federal court, which he's definitely going to have to show up for that one. You can't deny that one. He's going to have to show up. Because those are going to involve criminal charges for touching the copyrights. And there you go. That's what's going to happen. So that's why I sat there and tried to explain to him, but he was screaming on the phone at me. He called me at one time, and he started screaming at me, telling, no, you're a liar, liar. Man, you had a process server come to your house. That was a lie, too? That didn't happen? None of that happened. That was all make-believe. All right, whatever, you keep believing that. Stop lying, stop lying, stop lying. Okay, no problem. I'll see you in court. That's all to it, and hung the phone up. I mean, like I said, in particular, and what's going on right now and how crazy things are going, under the radar is where you want to be. I hate to put it this way. For his nationality, and I'm not trying to be racist here, for his nationality, things are crazy. I mean, this guy is signing all kinds of crazy stuff. Hopefully, they get a handle on it. They got somebody all right now that stepped up to challenge him on the whole immigration thing. He's taking anybody. He's getting to the point he's trying to take anybody and everybody. He tried to sign an executive order for Native American Indians. You tell me how that one works at the end of the day. Scratch your head on that one. How's that work? And shouldn't that be the other way around? So that's why I said, yeah, this is not the time to be in the limelight. It really isn't. Yeah, somebody said about African American, no, we ain't having that. That's not gonna happen. There'll be so many problems on that one. You wouldn't even know the beginning and the end of that one right there. That seriously would be some problems. America's trying to forget that as much as they possibly can. They're trying to forget that they ever brought us over on boats and all. They're trying to forget that. They're not trying to rehatch anything in that section in any way whatsoever. Not trying to do it. No. Because you would have so much problems with that one. It's not even funny. Or how badly that would get at the end of the day. So they're not even going down that road at all, period. That's like trying to bring back segregation. They know that man's going to have so many problems, it's not even funny. I think they should have him go through a psychiatric evaluation, honestly, truthfully, they should. At that age, you start getting dementia. Things don't actually start adding up. How are you going to basically try to sign executive order to basically deport Native American Indians? That tells you right there something ain't clicking right. Gee whiz Louise. I would have to say, he would happen to be the worst president in history. Twice. Yep. For all those who voted for him, just so you know. Yep. You made that mess. Oh, you couldn't be any more wrong. Couldn't be any more wrong. They really, literally should, anyone who voted for him, they should not have the ability to vote for anyone ever again. That should be revoked from them, right from the door should be revoked. from the door. They should never, ever have the ability to ever vote again. And your judgment is awful. When all that stuff got overturned. Everything got overturned. Everything got overturned. But like I said, if you follow the demon at the end of the day, you'll get exposed for what you are. And consequences will come your way on a heavy matter. They overturned that nonsense. I watched it. They overturned it. Or he tried to go in and overturn it to try to make himself look good. And then she turned around and posted this evil tweet at the end of the day. And it got picked up by a judge. You saw it. And there you go. And it sparked up a whole lot of craziness in their direction. Now, see, the thing about it is Republicans will basically back him. But if there's too much heat hitting them, you know how Republicans are. They'll run for cover. They're going every other direction. They'll distance themselves as far as they possibly can from him. And that's what's going on. There's a split and divide. And this is supposed to be a man that's supposed to be making America great again. This is how you start. Food prices going through the roof. Gas is going through the roof. Everything's much more expensive. Froze government funding in all 50 states. Wow. Really? I usually don't like to talk about politics, but my goodness, come on. Who are the idiots who voted this one in? And not one of them, any of the different YouTube news channels I was reading and watching it, not one of them posted jack. Because you know why? Because they got screwed over too. Because they're all over YouTube crying and whining. Oh, they're on there crying and whining how they feel they got betrayed and how they got stabbed in the back. You voted it. You were told at the end of the day. It's like somebody saying, hey, look, see over there? It's a fire pit over there. And you walk across that dinky straw bridge, you are guaranteed 100% to fall in and get burned over 90% of your body. And those idiots will walk across that bridge. Heck, some of you even carrying canisters of gasoline. Why they do it? And then they get burned and come back, and they're crying and screaming, like, I didn't think that was going to happen. Like, who would know that a straw bridge was going to give out underneath me, especially when I'm carrying kerosene, and I would get burned like this? That's why nobody feels your pity at the end of the day. Nobody feels your pity. I feel sorry for the little ones that are around you, your little ones that are around you that don't know the stupid decisions that that your mother and father have made to basically dampen their future at the end of the day. And you did a good job on that one right there. You really wrecked your kid's future. Hopefully you didn't. Hopefully we get around this nonsense and their generation basically does much better. But jeepers Louise. Hit all of them. Everybody got hit with that thing. Good. It's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because it happened. It's a good thing because now a lot of those Trumpers out there, all high and mighty, thought they were doing the right thing. You got hit with it. And that's why you're sitting on YouTube and all these other social media crying your brains out on how you feel like you got stabbed in the back. Or like you didn't see that one coming. How the guy say? You hire a clown, prepare for the circus. I've never called him president and never will. Ever. Yep, hire a clown, prepare for the circus. I'm glad that they were able to get that mess cleaned up. You know, not him. I'm glad the people were able to step up. I'm glad everybody did step up and push forward to get that mess cleaned up. To stop, this guy's a bully, to stop this nonsense from going on the way he tried to make it go on. Because that's unbelievable. Watch. When it comes time for these Republicans wanting to get back into office and ask for votes, don't forget it. Don't ever forget what just happened. When they were up there in the news press and they were smiling in the news press faces, well, you know, this is good for the people. This needs to be done, so and so and so. You remember that. So when it comes time for them to get elected, don't do jack. Don't vote for them at all, period. Because sooner or later, no sooner than that, you watch these guys, they'll get up there and smile all up in your face when it comes down to getting your vote. But the minute they get behind that office, they do that dirty stuff. And I saw them when they were basically interviewing these people about his decision to this government freeze out. And they were all in for it. Oh, this is the best thing to do. This is this, that, and the other, so and so and so, this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? He's doing a good job here, a good job here. You remember that. Because next time when it comes around for these people to be reelected, you remember that, because that's when you got power. They don't have power at that time. They don't have any power at all. They need you to get back in there. And you remember that. I usually don't vote, but this time around I will. I'll make sure that none of them get in there. I'm voting against every single one of them. I don't want any of them in there. There is no way in the world. And this is coming from a person who really don't care about politics, don't get involved. But that mess was freaking unbelievable. Yeah. And to see them up there smiling, laughing from ear to ear, talking about, well, he did what was right for the people. Now the people will agree with it 100%. Man, come time for these jokers to get their votes back in, you remember that. You don't give them jack, nothing. Treat them the same way they treated you. Give them nothing. Don't donate money to their campaign funds, nothing. Give them absolutely nothing. And he's talking about trying to get a third term. I told you he ain't all there. You can't get a third term. Presidents can only do 2 terms. That's it. That's all they can do. Can't get no. He's trying to change the rules so he can get a third term. Heck no. Ain't nobody going through 3. Are you kidding me? That's dictatorship. That's literally what that is. That is dictatorship. They have that. And you're going to mess around and have a military coup in your hands. Don't do stuff like that. It ain't going to happen. It's against the Constitution. You can't get trying to rewrite the Constitution. You ain't doing none of that at all, period. Trying to. That's horrible. You're supposed to support that at the end of the day. And Taco, do you see what we're putting over there? This is what are we doing today, Dad? This is what we're doing. We're going to be working on a lighting screen over there. We're going to put that together over there. I got to put an EL trace system through this screen, which is going to be interesting. It's a pulse laser system that pushes the screen. So that's what I got to work on next, that pulse laser system, the wave motion gun. So the panel we have there on the side, what I want to do is the next one I want to build, I want to have it so we can put the panels and slap them in there. It'll be Velcro in there and Velcro on the back of the panel so we can slap them inside that screen right there. But if I do that, I want to widen, make it a little farther out so we can put it like a little tunnel system so we can slap them in there and have a tunnel system of lights around it. That would be a sick demonstration, wouldn't it? That would be hot. So that's what we're going to do. And the cool thing about the panels, they can be cut. So I can cut them and I can basically expand them or however I want to do it. So that's how we're going to do it. Makes it so much easier. Got the panel there. Coat our panels on different screen paints that we make, and we can stick them in there. Call it the screen baker. It's a screen. It's no. This what do you call it? The screen tanning salon. We're making a screen tanning salon and stick them in there. So I definitely want to expand now that border a little farther out so we can put more lights around it. So it'd be in a tunnel of lights. It's gonna be sick. Tell me it's not gonna be amazing. It's gonna be awesome. That's what we're gonna be doing next. So that way we can show up the screen on the big level, then we can bring this out here and say, look, this is how much light these things can absorb, and we can slap any surface you want inside of that we're gonna call it the frame tanning salon, because that's where they're going at. Makes it so much easier. Velcro on the back of it, Velcro on the back of the screen, and then stick them in there. So this shaking bike, and I helped. Talk with shaking bike, shaking bike, shaking bike. Talk with shaking bike. Did you help with that shaking bike? Oops. This is justice on there. Don't get in a fight with my cord, because I know you like to fight cords. Yeah, that is going to be sick how we're going to build it. So we're going to build a new one. And the new one's going to be designed so we can put screens in there so they have to deal with that light. So that means we're going to extend the sides to go a little farther out so we can put another set of lights so the thing actually sits inside of a tunnel of lights. That's what we're going to do. I freaking love this, man. I love this so much. I'm so excited about building this whole new... Oh, I got to think of a name. We got to call it the Screen Tanning Salon. Something crazy we got to give it. I don't know. Got to call it something crazy. And that way we can take this system on site, hook it up. Because I need something portable. So I'm definitely going to... It's going to be made out... The first one's just out of cardboard. But the prototype is actually going to be made out of light wood. So I need something we can take apart, put it all together. We can have it on site, have the screens locked in there, and then basically just... Wood would be great, because if we do it out of thin wood, it'd be nice, because we make two parts. We can split it in half and have it connect together, and it locks in the back, it locks on the top. We can use that blackout curtain. We can make the frame use the blackout curtain. That blackout curtain, light can't transfer through it. It stays within it. The clip blackout curtains would be nice with that. And then that way we can put our frames in there, and we can have all that light just hit that. Right now, that's actually coated with a coating on the other side. So as you can see, I lifted up a little higher. I need to be a little higher up. Even though it is on a stand-like system, but it still needs to be a little higher up. Hey, what you doing, pretzel stick? Pretzel stick, Mr. Pretzel Stick. Oh, Mr. Pretzel Stick. Let me put this behind here. Put that behind here. That means you can't get in trouble, Mr. Pretzel Stick. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? You crazy? What are you going to call me, Pretzel Stick? I'm not Pretzel Stick, but you are. Ouch, you bit me. How dare you, Pretzel? How dare you? Mr. Pretzel Stick. What are you doing today, Mr. Pretzel Stick? What are you doing today, Mr. Pretzel Stick? What are you talking about? Oh, testing. One of these days, I'm going to have a test facility so bright you have to have sunglasses just to walk in there. Really dark shades. Take this out from here. Okay. Get my chair out of the way, get my stand out of the way. Oops, sorry about that. I forgot it was connected over to you. It's connected to that. Wait, you're blinking on this, right? If we're blinking on this, it's not good. Hold on. I'm going to have to put you someplace else. I'm going to charge from you. I'm working with my stuff here, trying to get everything to work well here. My stand is acting rickety crickety. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Let's stand and work on it in a minute. Take you guys over here. I gotta turn my stander off for some reason. Doesn't want to seem to stay right. There we go. That's better. This is definitely off. That's better. Might turn to the side. Try to get my pieces right. Hook up. Okay, it's gonna give me a headache there. Oh, let me see. Let's go run to PC. Listen to an asking for please. Okay. Alright, let me see. System does not work right for me right now. I need well, that's definitely right. Well. Every day, work. A little balance. I don't know what it is because you can't get what you want right now. I don't know what it is for sometimes. Okay. Lens. There you go. That's my stand in the way right there. Get that out of the way. There's the technology right there. That's new one we're designing. That is a quantum black star. That's the technology. So all that technology, that ILEG, that's the new game. That technology, everything we have now that's on that site is embedded with that stuff. And that will allow our screens to do this. Anywhere we go, any expo, any show, we're going to have a setup just like this. And as for the customer, well, we're fired up in this environment. Like I said, commercial environment, tons of light. Even without these lightings, still a lot of light. With this system set up here, proves even more that how we can operate in any environment. And again, no expensive projectors, no calibrating, none of that. And you have to never worry about being in the dark. That's why our slogan is, say goodbye to the dark. So how I want to set this up is, if we do these panels, we don't have to keep repainting the surface over again. We can do multiple panels with different shades of different screens, and we can do a Velcro system in here. Now, if I do that, I'm going to coat the whole inside of this with a high fluorescent white. We're going to extend the size of these out a little bit farther out, and we're going to run more lights in it, because I want this to be in a tunnel of lights. And we're going to basically, when we want to change out to what we want to show, say somebody wants to see the gunmetal, say somebody wants to see the platinum, they want to see all that, we can just stick them in there and just fire up the projector just like that and change them out at will. When we have them on display, we can have multiple of these setups, these frame systems set up, where we can basically put in each one of these screens. And again, like I said, projectors we're going to be using on site, they're cheap. They're not going to be high-end projectors. What's the point of doing that? The whole object is to prove to our customers that they don't have to spend all this money for these expensive projectors that are going to tell you have to have this or your screen doesn't work. We have already beat the odds. We're the only people who have a screen system set up this way. Everybody else is darkening their environments, using ambient light controlled environments to try to make the screen look good. We can literally do this with a halo system in there. So if your screens are used to being in these controlled environments, what happens if we take your sample sheet in a show and stick you in one of these things? It's not going to go well for you, because you're going to need that darker environment to pick up your contrast better and to maintain your colors. You ain't going to do well in that thing. You see, the lights are super bright, 6,000 K. That's what they are. Brightest LEDs that you can get. We're going to double that. If we put in, where's my, if we put in 2 sets in there, we are in the range of, I have a hard time finding them out. The cursor in here, I'm trying to find, you can't see it. Like there's that much light now on this screen. When I sit in front of this like this, that's to show you how much light is pushing in that screen. So, if we do 2 sets in here, we got 1200K of lights in here. With the system we want to put, because we want to expand the walls, we want this thing in a wall of lights inside, that's going to be 10 times more light than we're adding to the screen, which is actually fantastic. I can't wait to test that theory. And for those people saying, well, this projector's got to be at high power, saying, my projector does 4,000 lumens. I got it at eco mode, which means I'm roughly only getting 25 from my setup. That's all I get. When the Chrissy's are doing, Chrissy's cut pretty much almost in half. When you're doing 4,000, you put it in whisper mode, we get 25. I'm still in factory settings. Majority, most projectors, if not all of them right now, are not in factory settings. And we have people on camera in the dark showing up eco mode. Eco mode does not help in the dark. Eco mode has more of an impact if you're doing it with the lights on. Hold on. Knew that was coming. I felt it. Excuse me. They have more of an impact with the lights on. Eco mode doesn't need jack with different lights on. Like I got an eco mode, we're in the dark. Like, oh my goodness, please stop doing that. That is so embarrassing. Why would you do that? And you see this right here? See this right here? See that? That's how much light is pushing inside of that thing. Hey, Mr. Stretchy Butts. Mr. Stretchy Butts. Tell me stretching his butt. Mr. Stretchy Butts. Mr. Stretchy Butts. Where's the mouse at? Yeah. I have wireless mics with me. Lose it here and just there. moving some fish. I like doing fish with all the lighting on here. Let me see. Angry taco. No, that's not what I'm asking for. I need the cursor to pop up. See, blue is the hardest thing to produce on a screen because blue fades extremely fast. Red does it too. But that's what we're heading for. Exactly what we're heading for. What we're trying to do. What we're going to do. Ain't trying to. What we're going to do. We're designing the world's most powerful game. Actually, truthfully, that would be AdTech, because AdTech absorbs sunlight. This can't get hit from sunlight. AdTech can do it. So this will be next to AdTech. The whole dark environment thing, I can't do that mess. I can't. So the screen's on the go, all that, everything we have is embedded in ILEG. Like to see those LEDs. Doesn't even make a difference. If we take lights out, it doesn't make a difference. LED system sitting in there. And when people say turn on the lights, I say, for what? We got 6K LED lights sitting inside the screen. I don't mean anything. The next one I want to build one that's going to have these cardboard lines here and here. Now the cardboard lines are all going to be coated in with our paint, but the lights are going to be here, here, and here. They're going to stripe them right in. So it makes contact either way. Either way, we have on different screens I want to test. So even the cardboard, everything, the lines in the middle, all that, the cardboard walls will be all painted in our technology, and we're going to put light strips here, 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 and all the way around. I'll show you what this stuff can absorb. This product is 40% completed. We don't have it at 100% done. That's why it's out of stock. You can't steal it. We can't buy it. It's still under testing. Alright, that's basically about it for me. Hope you enjoyed. I'd like to show off a little screen that we're working on next. We're going to be planning to do with these sample surfaces right here, which will make it much easier for me to coat each one of them with something different. And then we can show off different types of screen inside of our new frame system. Now, like I said, we're rebuilding it. I definitely want to add in more lights, and I definitely want to add in a wider wall so that way we can actually push these screens right down into like a funnel-like system to actually get them to take in more light. That's what we want to do. $16.10 should be at $16.9, so it fits in nicely. That's right. all in 0, whisper mode. All factory settings. Sitting in eco mode right now. So at 2500 lumens, 13 feet back from the screen, fully commercial environment, and we're able to read with no problem, even with a light system installed into the screen. Light, those things push off. I like these lights. The first time I got these were these small strip lights. I got them in the garage, and I'm like, wow, these things are so bright. So I connected those up to the first screen we did under the FLE technology in the garage. And then coming out here, we had the FLE2 also. But this new technology, man, this stuff is berserk. See, the lighting we have in here would be, this is easy. See, for this technology, this lighting in here is nothing. You could thrive in this environment with no problem whatsoever. The average projection screen can't survive in this environment. We have too much lighting in here. Well, this is a cakewalk. So we design our technology to be able to absorb light within the screen itself. Imagine the environments that it can operate in. Because the average consumer is not going to have that light system sitting up there in their screen. But this technology is tested on that level. Just imagine how easy it's able to work in any environment, because it's used to dealing with much more hostile environments. This is how you make a good product. Now, if you want a good fighter at the end of the day, you don't put them against the weakest opponents, because it doesn't make him a good fighter. You put him against fighters that are far more better than him. When he gets done fighting these people all day, every single day, by the time he reaches any environment, any fighter, he's going to be victorious, because he's used to going through so much more. He's conditioned for more pain. He's conditioned to be a better fighter. Just learn how to survive, to take the hits and get back up. That's how you make a good screen. You design it. You put it in situations that are abnormal environments that any screen wouldn't be to stand in. And because these screens are used to being around that hostile light, and they're used to be able to push out and work even harder, and we're used to engineering the technology to make it better to be able to resist that kind of environment. Imagine what it does in an everyday environment with no problem. See? That's the reason why we push our technology on that level. We have to build stuff to push the screen's ability. All right, gotta go. God bless.